Right. Shall I begin? I'll begin recording, shall I?
Sadly, there won't be as much interaction because people will be disappearing. Cough.
Reminder, Janner, might as well mention your microphone and why you sound different.
Yeah, I've got a new blue snowball microphone for those on the VOD.
As opposed to the yellow snowball microphone.
Oh, and it's just never a good thing.
That's not the one you want to touch. Don't put that in here.
That's when you make sure you keep 6 to 8 inches away.
Okay, so
Minimum.
after slaying the white dragon, Crothis, and joining the Hunter's Keep, the Black Hand have been using the opportunity they have during the week before the Trial of Steel for some much-needed downtime and preparation work before the tournament at the end of the month. You tended to a few things. Let's see, it attended to a few things last session. Grunker recovered his newly made Cloaker of Cold Resistance, skinned from the hide of the frostworm encountered during your march to Crothis' lair. Saoyun and Neril went to the Sapphire Archives to research more on this Trial of Steel. It began a it's a relatively newer dwarven tradition ever since the fall of Malanis, Crothis' mother, 50 years ago. You also gained further insight into one of the trial's rewards, called the Slayer's Blade, a sword of legendary acclaim, formed from the tailbones of Malanis and said to cleave through dragon breath and absorb some of his magic. You also learned of dire trolls, hideous Frankenstein's monster-like amalgamations of many other smaller trolls with its superior regenerative properties. Siren and Balthazar had a lengthy conversation with Magna regarding a contract, a kill list of sorts of people who had slighted her in the past. Strangely enough, the last person on that list was Magna herself, as she worried her necrotic affliction, her curse, would overtake her and make her feral and vicious. You all agreed to this contract and parted your separate ways, and then asked to speak with the innkeeper of the Golden the Golden Lodge. Wanted to speak with your manager for the tournament, Varish Rasmund. On your ways through the city, you also discovered what appeared to be a massive carved archway leading to what looked like a huge construction effort in a sort of a cavernous area beyond, but you didn't see much of it. Regardless, during the early afternoon, you all made your way to the Crusty Beard, a homely family-owned pub and inn, where you found two familiar faces, Zerth and Arngrim, two of your previous compatriots who parted ways, and they were already there discussing the raucous evening that Zerth spurred on the night before with his bardic charm. Much reminiscing was had, and recounting of the Black Hand's travels before Vellum brought over a small keg of ale. One thing led to another, and most everyone became sloshed out of their faces. And lips became a bit too loose, spurring on a bit of tension between Arngrim, Saoyun, and Neril. So, hurt and disappointed, Arngrim sauntered out into the city. The rest of you returned to the Golden Lodge. Most of you are afternoon drunk, but Saoyun just a bit tipsy thanks to all those fucking natural 20 con saves in a row.
Hawkish constitution.
Yep. So, the rest of the day is yours, Black Hand. What would you like to do?
When do those of us who passed out wake the fuck up?
Let me get rid of the music here.
Because we went back to our rooms was the last note.
Yes, you went back to your rooms. And I believe, if you choose to do so, you can pass out.
We'll probably wake up to pray anyway and see what's going on.
Yeah. Most of you wake up in about 6 hours from now, so this would be around the time when you wake up to pray, Vellum. About we'll say 8 o'clock in the evening.
Well, can't really do any sort of work, so we're to check on how everyone is doing. Mainly the couple, see how they are, because they also got completely shit-faced.
Sidon and Niril, by this time you've mostly woken up by now. Well, most everyone's pretty much woken up by now with splitting migraines and regretting your life choices.
Everything hurts and I'm dying.
Is there anything you wish to do? Or do you just want to sit there and stew in your own migraines?
Sal will lightly brush over Neril's sort of shoulder / back, because touching the head while being hangover like this is a no-no.
Is this what hangovers are? I've never actually experienced one before.
They're usually like this, yes.
This
Maybe
sucks.
not this bad.
This sucks.
You'll get the hang of it, but I do think your size played to your disadvantage. You get some rest. I have some things I need to do.
You should go talk to Dwarf. I may have been a bit too hammered last night, but thinking back, he seemed kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just going to put my head underneath this pillow and... Yeah. And with that, she'll kind of like snake her way underneath the pillow. Only her tail poking out.
And with that, Niril swiftly passes out once more, just trying to recover from the migraine. Grunker, what are you doing?
Probably dying.
It's your own fault, guys.
Yeah. Probably just gonna drink a lot of water, even though it's probably too late.
Yep.
And he's just gonna fucking sleep.
Okay.
Or try and sleep. He's just gonna lie under his cover or under the bed and just like hiss whenever he sees light.
Yeah. There is some firelight from the fireplace that's in everyone's rooms, but you.
I'm just gonna put that out.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so as you hide your head under the covers and sleep off the rest of the migraine, Balthazar and Siren, what would you two like to do?
Sorry, I just literally took a bite of something. Give me a second.
Bad timing.
Apparently eating breakfast.
I'll enjoy the silence in between. I'll break that up. I think they both headed back to their room to discuss stuff. Balthazar, after spewing, said enough's enough, and he cleared his alcohol poisoning and sobered up like that.
Yep.
So he didn't take a nap. He didn't need to do that. He rather would have cleaned himself up a bit and retreated to their room to, I believe, discuss the contract that was brought up to them. Does that sound about right to you, Avon?
Yeah. Siren, having, put Vellum into his room and noticing Balthazar was very much not drunk anymore, would have gone over to discuss things.
Glories of a paladin.
Yep.
Bullshit.
Oh, maybe you shouldn't have been susceptible to fucking poison.
Shouldn't have been involved.
Yeah, L2
Should
Paladin.
have let me win.
So, Siren's going to come into the room, like, give a cursory knock, and then enter. And I'm guessing this, a little bit of time fudgery, is about the time everybody else passed out.
Yeah.
So,
I'll say during the session, time is a little bit more fluid because we have to get quite a bit done before the tournament, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
So, Balthazar, this contract.
Yes, it is something quite interesting.
Yes, interesting is a word for it. There's just a couple of questions, maybe a few that I have about it. Perhaps, given the standing that a party currently has with assassins, they might not feel too inclined to be assassins their own.
Which is why I have yet to bring this up.
Will there ever be a good time, you think, to bring up the fact that we've been hired to kill people?
Well, no, but yes,
Like, as the bullet is traveling towards them, is that when we should? when
what?
when Sao is
If it's
done
already in
firing?
process, she can't say no, you know. But who says they have to know? This is just a thought, so hear me out on this. But I was originally contracted. It shifted from a job for me to a job to the Black Hand. So far as I know, you, I, and Nero are the only ones officially branded as the Black Hand. The others are Black Hand in my mercantile business at best.
Didn't Vellum drunkenly say that he wanted to join?
It was very, very inebriated when he said that. I do not know how true that is.
I feel like we should do it regardless. And then he wakes up to being beholden to us even further than he already is. Man,
that is cruel, despicable, and downright manipulative. And I love it. So, let's do that.
Well, there's also... I still have a few more questions regarding the contract. As for Magna, have we thought about whether or not... How do we want to approach that last name on the contract if she can be cured? Because the contract is a contract.
I still have a bit of beer in my ear. Did you say if she can be cured or can be killed?
I mean, technically, both would make sense, but if she can be cured...
Both is good, yes. I mean,
Yes,
you
both is
get a
good.
powerful mountain folk companion.
Mm-hmm.
But I digress. Curing would be nice. But you know, I'm a stickler for the details of a contract.
Mm-hmm.
That's not what we were hired to do. What's in it for us to go the step farther? I mean, she already said she would pay anything. She said she would give me her soul for this. What more can she pay?
Oh, I know. I'm just saying. She, I imagine, is going to continue to try to cure herself. What happens if she cures herself?
Before we get paid?
Yes, Balthazar, before we kill her.
What if she kills herself before we kill everyone else? Do we have practice? I mean, I know killing... Yo.
Balthazar, are you still drunk? I'm saying, if she cures herself before we kill her.
Oh, cure. I think I need to clean my ears. I keep
Yes.
hearing you say kill instead of cure.
Damn it, Balthazar.
I think there's something I hate to admit, something must have been on the table or on the floor when my head hit it. Sorry. But if she cures herself, part of me wants to kill her anyway, because that's what we were hired to do, and, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But if we do that, it's then very hard for her to pay us.
Well, again, as you said, she'd be paying us with her soul, and me with the remains of her body. So
Yes,
it
but
comes
this
down
makes so
to
much-
whether or not we wish to fulfill the letter of the contract or the spirit of the contract.
I have a feeling
No pun
either way,
intended.
when we complete the contract, we're getting a spirit of it anyway, so... Sorry.
No,
Just
it's fine.
excited.
I realized after I said it is fine. There's necromancy, you know. But
I'm a bit of a bastard. I like the idea of the letter.
I know. That's what I was mostly wanting to discuss. Because, you know me, I'm fine with getting powerful minions of undeath. But I know in certain people's eyes, it might not...
You gotta look to your signet ring or wherever you keep it. Do the finger quotations. Certain people.
Certain people don't enjoy
Bloodsport.
unwanted euthanasia. Is that a term? I feel like that's
involuntary better.
Involuntary.
It's like
euthanasia.
forcibly assisted suicide.
Well, but see, the thing is that it's very much as it stands now, euthanasia, because she wants to die.
This is true. She
As
does.
opposed
She wants
to
die.
if she cures herself, it would very
Thank
much
you.
be unwanted. You're welcome. Unwanted suicide. So, that unwanted bit, I feel. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. We're evil. We can talk people and lie to them. If she kills herself...
You're a necromancy expert. You're sanctioned. That curse did not go away. That tainted her soul. The moment she died, her body rose as an undead being from the curse. And we had to do it so I could sanctify her and turn her to ash. Then she can't come back as a ghost. Problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
I love this dynamic.
So yes, we've decided that even if Magna were to cure herself,
Sure. She will still kill herself.
through
Problem
us.
solved.
Yes.
Yes.
Through the contract she
I
took
mean,
out
if she
with
trips
us.
onto my sword, you're technically suicide, right?
That it's very
Doesn't
much true.
matter if you forced her.
That's such a honorable thing, falling on your sword or someone else's. That's right. That's what they do in the torment. I've never been to torment.
Befitting of a member of the Hunter's Keep.
Yes.
Honorable tradition.
Euthanasia.
Euthanasia. They are skilled at killing cursed beasts. They will understand.
Because Magna is a cursed beast. That is very true.
Twice
cursed. Wait, twice?
Double curse. Demonoids.
Oh, Balthazar.
In the eyes of a dwarf, you know.
Balthazar, you're not cursed. I mean, by being a demon, you're not cursed, but...
Okay, yeah, I have some wiggle room on that one.
I personally think we're better off how we are.
I know, but what if this was a first step? What if there's something better? I have this crazy thought. And not I look into the night sky and see faces crazy. I mean, anyway. But I have this crazy
Constellations.
thought. Anyway, what if demons are a sickening form of evolution? There are certain aspects of the prior which are better, no doubt. But We are certainly superior in many ways too. A testament to our resolve. What would happen if you were able to take the best traits of both? What happens if you were able to take the spirit of an angel and the will of a demon? Put them together. Throw on a little bit of outer magic to make it happen. What lies beyond the comprehensions of mortal races? What could we be next?
Well, I know what I plan to be eventually. But that's neither here nor there.
True.
I personally wish never to even be remotely associated with what we were. Just mindless creatures of energy and magic, directed with no will of their own by a greater being. It's nothing I wish to be.
Yes, but is the state better for employing despicable low lives as slaves than if they had none at all? At the end of the day, you use them for your own purpose. What if you used the best traits and perceived it as one step forward down the family tree? Angels are first. We are second. What could be third?
Well, as
It's
long
just a
as you
thought.
move forward and not backwards, brother, I think what you have in mind is worth consideration. But I see
That
you
is all,
gaze.
I think.
I just see you gaze backwards perhaps a bit too longingly, as opposed to forward with the sort of resolute will that you have so much of.
I can't help but wonder sometimes what things would have been like if you were not guilty for merely being born. I hope that is not too strong of a longing to upset you, but I feel
guess-
some things are at least deserved to be mine.
I guess. Though, I guess just the difference between us brothers that I don't feel guilty.
I have no guilt. I have animosity and rage.
Then perhaps we are more alike than I had thought.
Well, you would feel that way if you were denied what was yours.
Well, I haven't
right
yet been
of birth.
denied what's mine yet.
Of
I'm
course
just
not.
on my way to procuring it.
Yes. And that is why I love you. You seize what you want, and you do not let it just pass you by. So many of these lesser races just coast through their life. Then they're surprised when the river suddenly ends and they've accomplished nothing.
You know, I've always wondered perhaps why all these other races so fear and revile demons. Then I realized they must, on an instinctual level, understand what we can do that they cannot. They must realize that if we were to fully exert our power, our force on the rest of the world, what all would change.
What right do they have? It was rightfully ours. Our feet before the hooves stood here first. This is our land. They should be grateful. They should shower us with praise. We let them live here. They just don't realize it that. They'll learn.
Well, I think that's mostly for a specific reason. But, the damn Angelicists. Oh, I hate religion.
How would you feel about a uniform?
You,
I
what-
would
what?
love to bastardize their masks.
Well, that would be interesting.
Imagine the Black Hand and the Five Fingers. Each one some despicable person meant to represent some sin from evangelicism. They wear a twisted mask or one so close it's hard to tell. A direct spit in the face of whatever purity they think they have.
That would be so entertaining to take on the role that they have assigned us in their texts. I don't know, perhaps once we have a bit more power, a bit more influence, once all of Mainland is beholden to us, then perhaps we can do something like that. Because I know if we were to suddenly show up, 2 demons wearing blasphemous, well, just by existing
Regalia.
we're blasphemous, but yes, wearing blasphemous regalia, perhaps we won't be quite as welcome when we try to expand our influence.
I'm having a very hard time with that now in this cursed pair of armor. I was hoping I could be a golden champion of the people and shining steel and gold. These plates of beautiful armor, but it seems it's so cursed just wearing it. I had hoped that I could be this illusion, you know? A beautiful gold helmet with an angel's face, powerful war horns to the side. You couldn't even tell it was a demon. Get humanity to flock to me as some righteous champion. And then fool them from there. But would it be so bad? I mean, if we're strong enough, would it be so bad to just admit guilt and enjoy the process of being the bad guy? To embrace the villainy they claim us?
Well, no, I think that's what makes... I think that's what I tried so hard for have Varish do for the upcoming arena. I mean... we have this facade, obviously. Perhaps 1 or 2 members actually know of it, know what we're capable of. But to be able to finally let loose and do something that you have the power to do without fear of repercussion, I don't know. That's why I'm looking forward to this trial of steel.
I know, but... Go on.
Well, I'm just saying, it's... perhaps in the future, we can be a bit more bold. But I also think that with your armor, why can't you wear it? Why can't you be the champion who slew the ancient dwarven king when he rose as an undead within his tomb? I never quite understood that. I never understood the hesitancy there.
You know, I thought about that, but considering treason and execution is on the table for having one of its coins with his face on it, wearing his armor covered in his skull might be a bit worse. I have no problems wearing it, it's just...
Yeah, well, once we're in the city,
I'm
assuming.
Yes, but before I meet the king and I try to establish diplomatic relations, I mean, I'm trying to get to the office with him. I need to give him his fucking head, but it's difficult.
Well, perhaps we can do
Balance
that.
to these things.
Yeah, perhaps we can do that. I mean, it will likely be a while before everyone else is woken up, but perhaps we should have the rest of the Black Hand accompany us when we go see the king. You know, as a visual aid, not as a spoken one. Not many of them.
The gaggle fucks or the actual Black Hand?
Why not both? Why not both? We can, of course, have Neil there, and we can have Vellum freshly minted in the Black Hand while he was sleeping. And then, I don't know, Neil, Grunka. Grunka's going to be interesting because, you know, Goblin.
Yeah, Yeah, that was one of my concerns, is how diplomatic our group can be. I'm sure everyone knows noble customs, especially little Granka. And being half drunk in the middle of the afternoon, I'm sure is going to do wonders for that.
Well, as long as we tell them just to be quiet and try to stand up straight.
Be quiet, don't breathe the alcohol in anyone's faces, stand up straight and don't wobble. And don't fucking kill anybody. Perfect.
Yeah, that might be hard for Grandpa.
What could go wrong?
If we... I don't know, I guess it kind of depends on the introduction. The Black Hands, Slay of Crothis, Son of the Frozen Scion, Scourge. What was his name again?
Scion.
Yes. Thank you, God.
You're welcome.
Holy shit.
Yahweh, you son of a bitch. So, so yes, champions, in our own right, savers of Port Morgany, of Cliffspire. I mean, we've already made quite a name for ourselves already. So I don't see what reason why we can't just ride in on that and the glory that we've already made for ourselves. I imagine rumors have already reached Duunhollow of what happened in Port Morgany and what happened in Cliffspire. I'm sure our name is already on the lips of the citizens of the city.
I'm sure. I mean, we were strode in with the better half of a fucking dragon. We had several carts to carry the wings around. If it wasn't for that incompetent man to break one. But still, we should be known. We could try. I see no reason why not.
Perhaps we should.
You only have one chance for first impressions.
That is very true. So we should go in with as much fanfare and presentation as possible.
So you think the big codpiece? Or would that be too flashy?
I mean, I don't know. Is it still like gem encrusted?
Oh yes.
Okay. Nah, that's fine. You'll just think of it as I don't know, a demon thing. I mean, it is, but
Dwarves love gems.
I thought you were going to say dwarves love card pieces. Yes, they do love gems. I think that's
Well, apparently they do. They just moved them to their fucking chins.
There is definitely something of a I don't know, a obsession with gems and vengeance. They seem to really enjoy vengeance. I don't know why. I mean,
Well, I can
know
at
why,
least understand that.
Well, I think it is time. Let's see. Still murdering Magna. We'll be able to be evil in the arena. Talk to the king.
Oh,
Anything else that we need to discuss before we tattoo Vellum?
do we want to go like full cult with him? You know, like full indoctrination, like a step up and above for what we showed with Lim and Kane.
I mean, we can, but isn't he also going to be in a alcohol-induced coma?
I mean, I could slap him out of it at the last moment, of course.
So
like,
he just wakes
or
up
the
surrounded
idea
by black candles and black flames, blood on the walls and whatnot.
Yeah, he would never know.
Sure, why
But
not?
it's just a thought that, you know, maybe make a spectacle out of it, and the great brotherhood, and how wonderful this is, you know, for the others. Could try and lure them into our little den of, I want to say debauchery, but it's more like murder.
Dumb fuckery?
So-
Oh, okay.
That works too. That's what we are now. I'd like to fucking change that.
That might be more difficult than we imagine. As for, I don't know,
Proper military.
with this group?
Before this,
No. Well, we were. I miss the captain. I miss the old Black Hand. Everything was so organized.
Modesty, one time, we were pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
We had
Damn cultists.
more than us now, and we didn't, I don't know, I look over the group as it is, and I just think, is anyone here really a soldier? Is anyone really a mercenary? It seems like a lot of people fly by the seat of their ass, and just hope it will be fine.
I think it's just a specific mindset. Not many people are. I mean, even myself, when I first joined the Black Hand, it was jarring getting into that sort of lifestyle of just regimented and knowing that at this time this happened, at this time that happened, you need to do this before then. Follow orders from him, then them, and then... It's very structured, and I don't think many people in our group are used to that. Perhaps Sao as an exception, given that she grew up in Orc society.
Yes, but she's also a liar and a treasonous traitor, so...
That's true, with an assassin bounty on her head, but still, I think we can at least appeal to her sense of camaraderie, a sense of safety in such regimented protection. I don't know. But I do think that perhaps... I mean, the idea of Vellum waking up being tied to his bed in some sort of cultist ritual is very appealing. But perhaps we should just... I don't know. Do you wish to save Vellum's initiation until everyone is awake and out of their comas? Or do you wish to just... I mean, I'm happy with having him inducted while he's asleep because he said so while he was drunk.
I do like to follow the letter, but I kind of want to make a spectacle out of it. Like make a big deal so the others will want to join and get properly under our wing.
Well, I guess we can. And perhaps we should, I don't know, put it off for a little bit. I have maybe some ideas of what we can do. Unless you have something in mind already.
Not specifically, but I worry if we put it off too much, then he'll weasel out.
He is very weaselly. Okay. We'll try to have it done by, I guess, tonight or the next.
That sounds good. We should go get the others, though, I think. It's already, what, 5?
Yes. That was some serious day drinking.
It really was.
I'm glad I refrained. You are all insane.
Oh, yes. But as much as I do not like drinking, I have to keep up images, you know. Plus, being able to cheat helps.
True.
Alright. I'll go start slamming some doors.
Okay. So with that, you will begin to awake to the sound of sort of slamming doors. Do you wish to induct Vellum while he's still sleeping, or wait until he's awake?
I think we're gonna wait till he's awake.
Okay.
Was that the... Did I get the right gist of that?
Yes.
All right.
That is the consensus.
You all awake to slamming doors, except Neil. She is completely passed out, and ain't nothing waking her.
Try me.
Right. So, as you all reawaken. Sorry. Yeah. Time. It's fluid here. You all do awaken. What would you like to do, Balthazar?
I'm going through and I'm slamming on people's doors, just a quick and simple sort of, "Get up! It's the middle of the afternoon!" You know, yelling at people, getting them to get up. And at that point, I'm gonna go towards our... We have a foray? Did we have a meeting ground? Sort of like a middle room where we are?
You've got a main chamber with a long sort of dining table with the 4 rooms off to the side.
Okay. I'll have the maids start preparing some meals for all of us. Something probably light and alcohol.
There aren't exactly maids. This is like an ensuite you've rented for the time being.
My trio?
Oh yes, your impish trio. Speed.
Yes.
Tristy, Misty, and Carissa.
My nannies.
Yes,
or as he would professionally refer to them as, handmaids.
Very well, Balthazar. We'll go provide what you need. Yeah. They will flutter off and come back with this sort of a grandiose array of various what would essentially be dinner time meals, as it's gone around 8 p.m.
I will take the big chair at the end and sit down and wait.
Okay.
Simon's going to take the other side, so her and Balthazar are flanking people who sit in the middle.
Delightfully devilish.
Fucking aristocratic motherfuckers.
It gives us advantage. It gives us flanking advantage on social situations.
Yeah. You all awaken to this strange and unnerving sight of both Balthazar and Siren at either end of this large dining table in the center foyer here of the suite.
What are you two doing?
Being sober.
Having dinner.
That is obvious by the food, but I do have a question then. Normally when it comes to dinner, you'd be eating by now. You're waiting. So, what's the occasion?
Well, to come together and celebrate, of course. The Black Hand is officially growing. He'll look at Salyun as he says that, but in his chair, at the word growing, he will slowly turn and face at Vellum.
Right, that. Sometimes I wish I would. Sometimes I wish I would, get that drunk that I would pass out, but apparently I drank most of you under the table.
We were drinking, right? Now I remember.
Well, you got pretty hammered.
I think I just needed to loosen up, honestly.
You loosened up way too much back there. But that's something I will talk with you about in private.
Oh shit. Hope I didn't say anything stupid.
No more so than usual.
Sal just looks at him with a sort of, oh yes you did look.
Internally, shit. Fuck did I do? Anyway. Right, so, yeah, what's this about?
Well, Balthazar, would you tell him or should I? Since I was sitting next to him when he mentioned it.
I have a better idea. Look across the table. Would you?
Siren is going to smile She's just looking at Vellum. Vellum, it appears that you have finally broken past what struggles and hurdles that were keeping you back from joining us, and yes, it appears that we will be considering you a brother of sorts from here on out. Of course, after we're done with the induction ritual.
I mean, I was thinking about doing that.
Well, you did more than think. You thought and you spoke.
Yeah, apparently I did. I mean, beating around the bush. The only thing holding me back, besides the liquor apparently, was how much of a mess everything was with the plot, but whatever. Worst comes to worst, I can always do something.
You were kind of cutting out a bit, Sable.
Damn it, my fucking mic has been on the fritz all goddamn.
That's gonna
Doesn't
be a
help
big
I have
oof
a
for
fucking
me.
ulcer on my lip, that's fun.
That's a second oof.
Okay, so basically what he said was, he said the only thing that was holding him back besides the liquor apparently was how much of a mess it is. In terms of confusion. But worst comes to worst, he can deal with that later.
Well, I don't necessarily see what you mean by mess, but perhaps that's something, again, as you said, for a later time. Regardless, we were hoping to induct you rather quickly. Would that be fine with you?
Yeah, I mean, makes sense. You've been badgering him for me about it for a good while now. There ain't gonna be any freaky deaky culty shit, is there? No stabbing your hand or signing with blood or any weird shit.
No, it's nothing more really than you'd expect out of a traditional marriage.
See, saying shit like that is not help.
Bye, Knick-Knack.
Oh, there he goes.
Bye.
Bye, Knick-Knack.
So, yep.
Anyway. So, what exactly is this gonna entail?
It's, well, you remember what happened with Glim? It would be a little more of a less rushed version of that. Something with a little more prim and proper dignity to it. You know, since this has been such a long time coming, we should do it right for you.
Refresh my memory out of character. What the fuck did he do with Glim? Felt so long ago.
It was a long time ago. Basically, we only did the things you'd expect out of, like, again, like a traditional marriage, like what happened. So it's nothing super crazy.
I mean, we can make it crazy, though.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I'm
You think
tweaking
you
my
wouldn't?
mic and it's being a shit.
Oh, you're good.
That's okay.
No, Sable. No, Vellum. There isn't much that... Well, I guess, depending on traditions and whatnot. I don't know what traditions you follow, given what you are, but... There's definitely... We can rein in some of the more cultish, and she does air quotes at that, cultish aspects. But again, as what this is, it is a family. It is a brotherhood, sisterhood for those like Nero and I. But it is something that is meant to bind. It is something that strengthens. So you might have to deal with some cultish things, as you say. But know that it's for the better.
Well, we'll do the initiation, and we'll cross those bridges when we come to it.
Well, just be aware that we will be crossing bridges.
One thing at a time.
Well, as such. Anyone else wish to join in? If we're going to induct one person, might as well induct another. Gronka, how about you?
I'm not so sure right now. Maybe need some time to think.
That's fine. Understandable. Anyone else?
I've been having thoughts about it, and well, my initial thinking would be fitting for what we've been through so far and what we are likely to encounter in the future. I, however, would like to take some additional time to think it over.
That's understandable. But, of course, do know that when you do eventually marry Nero, you'll already be halfway in.
I am well aware.
Okay.
Well, I
As
mean,
long as you are aware, for one thing, you're already technically part of our family.
worst comes to worst, you can just fucking. That's what I'm thinking.
Just fucking what?
Leave.
The marriage?
Well, this was more about the. Sorry, like. No, I mean, Black Ancha is a mercenary band, and yeah, it's like a family.
Well, I'm not to call you an idiot, but sometimes you do need to listen a bit more. As far as I'm aware, and she sort of does a gesture towards Balthazar and Siren, a demonic sense of family is a bit different from ours.
How do you figure?
Let's just say that, and she sort of looks between Balthazar and Siren without a hand gesture this time. They are more inclined to keep things within the family rather than with just outsiders. And there's a sort of half awkward, half cautious smile.
Well, I'm just gonna pause and think a minute. Still sort of a little bit under the haze of waking up all fucking groogy and shit. He's going to give Sour a slight look of uncertainty, and almost in a sort of questioning sense, as in, do you think I'm making a mistake? But the way he's angling himself is that it will be primarily facing Sam.
I mean, if y'all are standing side by side, then you're facing one of the demons.
You can turn your body in a direction here. I have the autonomy to turn myself.
I understand, but if your face is facing someone to your side, it doesn't matter where your body's
Well,
facing.
well, regardless.
Regardless, the intent is that, it's subtle.
Advanced positioning.
Yep, we're flanking you, bro.
Tactical positioning.
We are flanking. Yeah, unless this is a long rectangular table, I guess you could.
I was told it was like a diamond, so.
No,
Diamond?
No, it's a long rectangular one.
a long rectangular dining table.
Oh, dining table. I heard
Dining.
diamond.
There we
Long
go.
rectangular diamond table.
I heard
Rectangular
like
diamond.
not made of diamond, shaped
Hold
like
up.
a diamond. I was like, okay, well,
Oh,
see
you're
what
right.
We're splitting hairs here. Splitting hairs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, sorry. Back in.
And in Orcish, Sa will just roll her eyes a bit and looking at Vellum.
Sorry.
You
Rolling
are...
your eyes in Orcish.
Yes. She will just look at him after having rolled her eyes in Orcish, and in Orcish will speak out to him. What you're walking into is more than just a mercenary family band. You are walking in to a sense of familiarity and bond that is closer than what you could find in family of blood. This is a bond for life. And then she sort of casts a slight glance towards Balthasar's also ominous black hand. I would advise you to think about it, but the decision is yours alone.
Siren at that is going to speak up and in Orcish say, "The blood of the covenant is thicker than the water of the womb."
Sao gives a mildly reluctant nod at the comment. She is correct.
Poor Balthazar.
This is the first time any of you have heard Siren speak Orcish.
Oh yeah, it's a surprise.
Catches you off guard a little bit.
Not really.
I mean, she's a
Siren?
smart woman.
Expect the strangest out of Siren.
See, here's the thing.
What?
Sao
You
has
know-
actually been listening to how they've responded back and forth. And from her point of view, well, whenever Willem and Sao has spoken Orcish, Siren has always seemed to have a bit of a mild understanding, shall we say. So it doesn't come as a total surprise.
I mean, I've been dropping hints.
Yeah.
Like when Velen was just
Velen's
like,
not smart
did
enough to pick
did I
up
do
on
anything stupid? Like, did I say anything stupid? And Siren was just like, no more than usual.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, Velem's not picked up on that, but he knows Siren is learned, so it's not a huge surprise. Anyway, this is in Orcish, by the way, just to make sure Balthazar gets left out. Apparently,
No, that's fine. He is just enjoying the atmosphere, looking about the table.
there's free
He's
drink with the
looking to his
umbrella.
room a little bit. Mm-hmm.
See, the reason why Sao went over to Orcish is because Velum understands Orcish better.
Yeah, it's a clarity. Well, that changes things. I don't know if I'm gonna say no for certain. But things like this are important, sensitive. I had assumed it was just the standard menial intent with all that. Now, this is more sort of directed towards... It's sort of like a cone of vision, like still sort of talking to sound, but also directed a bit towards Siren, given that she's involved in the conversation in a sense.
Okay, sorry, someone knocked on my door just as you were starting that? Quick summary,
Attention is
what?
being directed towards Siren as well because she's understanding what's being said.
Okay, but what was just said?
Well, I'm about to get to it.
Oh, okay, fine.
Yes, it was to preface the next statement.
Gotcha.
No. What you had said to Salyun just now in Orcish.
Oh. That changes things. Well, I'm not going to say no. I'm not going to leap on this right away or something to that effect. Things like this are a lot more important, a lot more sensitive, and require... And fuck, I forgot what I said 2 seconds ago. I hate myself.
It's alright. It's short-term memory. You don't need it.
Yeah, the crux of it was that he needs to take the decision a bit more seriously because he thought it was just the standard, oh, we're family sort of mercenary band type thing, but it's taken a lot more seriously due to the cultural implications.
Okay.
Forgot what I was going to say next now. Shit.
It's okay, short-term memory. You don't need it.
Either way, I did make a decision, but I think the drink made me a lot impulsive. Give me a little longer, sir, and I'll have a bit more of a concrete answer.
Perhaps it's not impulse that it gave you, but bravery.
No, I'm pretty sure it was impulse.
I don't know. I think to feel that, from what I've seen, all alcohol does is it just makes you do things that you want instead of things that you're too afraid to do.
Even then, I know things I didn't.
That is fine, Willem. Just know that this is more than just a mercenary group. I don't know what mercenary groups you've heard of, or what mercenary groups you might have been in before. I don't think any. But there's a reason we form the kind of bonds that we have. And with that, she motions to Balthazar, and between Balthazar and herself. Because you have to know that the person beside you will never betray you, will never leave you bleeding on the ground, running away to save their own hide. Family can't betray you. Family can look after themselves. But what we do, what we are, is more than family. Do you understand that?
This is all still an orc.
Yes.
I do. For that reason, I'd like a little bit of time to think. Lifelong commitment tends to carry a lot of weight.
For a half-orc, I can assume so.
For anyone, I'd say. Anyone sensible. You got
guess
to
it
be
can.
sure, because like you say, I don't want to go into this and end up in that situation where things may turn sour. And I'm pretty sure you wouldn't either.
I mean, I've already made my pact.
Right then. Shit, what time is it? I should probably...
Well, there is the full spread of food.
By this time, it's turned around about 9ish. Spent quite a bit discussing this.
Right, I should eat something and do something myself before I end up going to sleep again. Don't want to
I
waste
like
the.
to think Grunk is on thirds.
Oh, Grunk has just been power eating through all of this food.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. Breakfast.
So you will have yourselves a nice
Merry Christmas. Sorry.
a nice hearty meal of roast goose, kind of barbecued wyvern tail,
Boiled goose.
various cheese rolls, filling of nuts, honey, vegetables, that sort of thing, grilled fillet of salmon, just all sorts, just laid out on the table before you.
Delicious.
So, if there is anything else you wish to do before you head to sleep, or we'll move on to the next day.
After the food, I will lean into sound of quiet sense, because obviously this doesn't concern generally everyone, and it might be a sensitive thing. He doesn't know yet. You wanted to talk with me about something I said or did. Rather know it now instead of it keeping me up.
Yes, but I would like to do so privately. And
yeah, I imagine so.
with that, Sal will mildly lead him towards the room where Neil is fast asleep.
And she will be for the rest of the session.
Unconscious.
Yeah. Well, upon entering the room,
Quick preface, Stucky. Given your
Yes.
current condition, do you want to skip this and do it in text later, so you're a bit more corpus mentis, or would you rather do it now? So
I'm doing it now, so I'm getting it out of the way.
sure thing. Just wanted to check if you wanted to alter it.
Yeah.
Carry on.
Well, as both of us enter, and Sal closes the door, making sure nobody's outside listening in.
Siren comes right outside to listen in. I'm just kidding.
Bashes her face through the door. What are you talking about?
What's going on?
Siren.
I sense delicious secrets. Sorry.
It wouldn't be
I'm
your
a little
face.
giddy today. I've had a bit of
door.
mead.
Sal just turns around and looks Vellum straight in the face. You said, rather publicly, you would like to bang me, and if it would be okay with Nero, or if she would like to join in.
There's a pause, and then just. This is why I.
I am well aware of your situation and that you have likely been blue-balled for what feels like an eternity since Morkney.
I guess not something I actually talk about. That obvious, huh?
Would it surprise you to know that in certain orcish tribes this is a deliberate thing other orc males do to avoid physical pleasure?
I mean, I don't put a lot of focus on that part of life, but
It
I don't see
makes
the
them
point.
aggressive. It makes them wild. Makes them
I'd
dangerous.
say pissed off more than anything, but I get what you mean.
Yes. Now, I'm not telling you to go out and get some, but I would like to know next time, if you ever decide to go drinking, that you will not go this hammered.
Yeah, I'm not gonna.
Because I will be honest, when you said it, I was caught off guard, and I had to deal with trying to tell an old friend about what we've been up to, while also trying to maintain the composure of, well, someone who did not just hear that, oh, by the way, I would like to bang you raw in public.
He's basically got his head in his hand at this point, just shaking his head. Starting to really not like drink.
You think so? Now, I may sound mad at you, I am not. But what I am stressing is the seriousness of what you did.
I'm very aware. It was a while since you two saw each other, and you got on pretty well back then.
Oh yes. Now I would like to mention another thing towards you in particular.
You're gonna make me want to jump off a bridge?
No. I had been meaning to tell you that I think Siren might understand Orcish, and whatever you might have been trying to say in confidence to me would have been compromised. However, I was unsure how fluent she was, but apparently she speaks it as well as we do.
Yeah, not big on secrets, but it was nice talking a bit clearer. And now I just realised she understood when I said that out loud. Great, fantastic.
My point exactly.
Look, I'm very sorry, sir. I mean, whatever's in my head is in my head, but I guess things slip between the cracks, and
You had more alcohol in you than most dwarves would drink on their day off.
more alcohol than sense, clearly.
For a dwarf, it would be just fine, but for you, not to dumb you down, but you're half human, and as far as I'm aware, humans have done very stupid things when drunk.
Well, doesn't change that it happened, and if I can be making that up at all, just say.
Which would then lead me to a request I have for you.
Yeah, sure.
I need to borrow your forge.
There's a slight tilt. I guess sure, but what's wrong with yours? Don't you have one?
This is less for tinkering and small making. I need to make a pair of blades.
Well, I mean, shit, yeah. I mean, you've been helping me out on my work, so only fair I help you out on yours.
You are not allowed to help. Not on
Right.
this.
Well, I need to show you how some of the equipment works, so you can be doing it yourself.
I think I already figured that part out. Between watching you and how you operated it and what I could figure out on my own, I think I have a good sense of how it works.
You can understand if I might want to be nearby.
Gentle and watching, I know. Your forge is your pride and joy.
Yeah, and don't get a wrong idea. I trust you, but it made me feel better being able to see it. So, were you needing it tomorrow, or
Somewhere in between the next few days. I've actually had the design for this pair of blade made a long while ago, but events took me off from making them.
how long do you think you'll be? Obviously, you can use it as long as you need, but I was hoping to get this project done for the arena.
I will maybe take only 1 or 2 days.
I might be alright, I'll be cutting it thin, but sounds like this is important.
It very much is. Afterwards, I would be more than happy to help you with your work to speed it up a bit.
That'd be nice, and honestly, it's been nice having you. But, damn it.
In case you're curious, I will be making a pair of traditional orcish blades.
Well, it'll be weird, but interesting. See how it is from the outside. Look at it. Obviously, I never see myself on my own forge.
You look a bit weird, I will admit.
Yeah, probably because it's outside. That'll do it.
More on the fact that the way you operate your machine is odd.
Yeah, the tricky part about it is kind of by design, but I don't go logic with what I do. Everything is feeling, you know? Things I know, things that are on instinct. How I know to make it cooler, hotter.
Well, in due time, I think you will find a simpler design that will work better. Not saying yours does not work well already, but room for improvement.
Well, everything improves and everything changes. That's just how it is. So I'll get it.
Now, have I made my points clear about the past day?
Unfortunately, crystal. So, yeah, if I ever get honestly drunk again, just fucking slap me.
If you're ever that drunk, I will knock you out.
Much obliged. Yeah, I'm gonna go unless you needed anything else.
I do need to buy some materials for the blades. Preferably orcish steel if we can come across it, but and she sort of does a gesture to the decoration style. There is little chance of that here. However, dwarves are known for jewelry, gems, and various other materials of stonework, so if we're lucky, jade might be a suitable replacement for the orcish element.
Well, if you head to this place I found, Hammer Home, everything is hazy for me today. Were you there when I got my metal?
I believe I was. You and I went out buying materials.
Well, yeah.
I do need jade for 2 things. The blades and something else.
That much jade. It's getting tricky.
No, not really. The amount of jade is more fit for, say, the hilt of a blade rather than, you know.
Oh, you're talking
measure.
more of an inlay as opposed to as a main base.
Why would I put jade as a main base? Jade is not
Yeah, that's
exactly
why I was
strong
confused.
enough.
Well, if you need help getting what you need, I'm probably gonna be around. And if not, you know where to find me.
In either case, if either of us decide to go out, it would be preferable if you could find some.
I'll keep an eye out.
Thank you. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to rest. I might have been drinking as much as you guys, but you guys got hit harder than me, but I am still dealing with leftover, you know. And she sort of taps her head lightly.
Yeah, I'm honestly impressed. He's gonna sort of pat her shoulder and give it a squeeze, before just heading for the door with a smile. Right, you rest up. I can see Neril is fucking out of it. So
Yes.
yeah, sleep tight. So, and sorry again for opening my damn mouth.
Honestly, it could have been worse. You could have been doing what Neil was doing, but honestly,
Oh God.
I'll have to talk to her about that when she wakes up.
Sounds like you had a hell of a night. I definitely owe you.
You can say that. Now, buck her off, if you will.
With
Sleep
that,
tight. And out he goes.
with that, you all begin to find your places for rest for the evening. Grunker, Balthazar, and Siren, do you wish to do the same? Or are you...
I think right now we're discussing arenaness.
Okay.
Possibility of flying
God,
creatures.
text everyone.
Yep.
So let
That's
us
what
bring
we do
that
with
to the
flying
forefront,
creatures.
shall we?
Yes, I don't. Well, with Sav's bomb, I think perhaps that we can have. I would imagine they would limit us with what we could carry. Within
Yeah.
certain extents. Like two
Maybe
people
they-
carrying something, I don't think would quite work, but if one person is carrying something, then we should be fine.
Yeah, I don't think they would like us bringing things that would destroy the place.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
But
I think that they would limit us. Nets and such, I don't think would be out of place, but the question is, could the nets really handle the beast they will put us up against?
well, I think that regarding the flying creatures, just something that would take out the wing or restrain the wing.
Like those what they call things with the balls and the strings.
Balls on this. Oh,
Bolas.
Yeah,
that's it.
maybe that
That's.
would work.
I mean, perhaps that's usually reserved for taking out the feet of an individual, as opposed to.
Aren't they wings of a beast the feet of the sky?
Well, despite being an excellent metaphor, the reason bolas work so well is because the feet are right beside each other and they have to get close, whereas opposed to wings are generally huge flapping things, and it's, I would imagine, very hard to get a bola to wrap around both of them at the same time.
Guess it depends on the wings.
Maybe, but think about this. The wings will be large and driven by arms strong enough to give it flight. They may just be able to snap the ropes.
Well, if
Oh, but what we
if they're made of rope, could be made out of metal.
Could be
I
chain.
think chain, but I also think perhaps Gronka might have something there. What if we made there's something I've heard of this before. It's like it's a wire. They use it for garrots. It's like a razor wire. What if it's a razor wire, like something that's super strong but super thin, so when it tries to break free, it actually ends up
Cutting
possibly
itself.
exactly.
If it
anything,
struggles hard enough, it might sever its own limb.
or at least make it so that it won't want to fly.
Mm-hmm. I think that would definitely... Yes. I think that can definitely help. If only I remember there was a spell. I've heard of it a long time ago about that would be used to bring flying creatures to the ground, but I can't remember what it's called. Maybe I have to...
I like the way that one big one used their hammer, I think it was, to bring Crothis to the ground.
Oh, Liska.
If only Vellum was as skilled.
Well, I've long ago come to terms with how skilled Vellum is.
Okay. So.
Also,
Yep.
Real quick, sorry. When Vellum comes out, Siren is going to see if Sao comes out too, and if Sao does not, Siren is going to look. I'm going to do this now because Ducky is in pain.
I'm still here. I'm just.
No, I got you. That's fine. She's going to excuse herself from the group real quick, kind of get up and mosey on over to the door. If it's closed, she's going to give a quick knock. Sal, are you there? Still awake?
I'm still here. Nursing the mild hangover, but
Is there something I can ask you real quick?
sure. And with that, Sao walks over and opens the door for ease of talking.
Thank you. I was wondering. I've recently come across some information, and I was wondering, due to your orcish nature and knowledge in history, would you know anything about the Jade Palace, or what? Might you have any knowledge on
So.
the what happened after it was destroyed in whatever cataclysm it was?
Sao just looks at Siren with sort of a mild, deadpan stare, not one of, confusion or anything. It's just like, really?
I'm not going to make you roll for this because you would know this, being an orcish individual who's also had a history of investigatory study. Your academic astute mind, you would know this. It wasn't the Jade Palace that was destroyed. It was the Temple of the Celestial Dragon that was destroyed during the Jade Storm.
First and foremost, Siren, you got the place wrong. But regardless,
Well,
you're
what is
asking
it?
about an event most Orcish people know of practically by heart, either from word of mouth from parents or academic readings. Why are you asking? If
Well,
I may...
oh no, that's fine. Turns out that I need. There might be some information that I need to get regarding what exactly happened there. It's. You remember. Well, of course, you remember the Awakened, that necromancer cult. They might have a stronghold or something. They might be trying to build something there or take advantage of something that's already been built. And I just wish to know what I can about it.
If they're trying to do such, then two things are likely to happen. Either they are in the wrong place, or they will be raided, prosecuted, hunted until there is no one left. because they're dealing with my people and a piece of history nobody wants to deal with ever again.
I mean, that's fine if the temple, or what they were doing for, was in broad daylight. It's likely deep underground or magically hidden.
I don't think you realize what I said. If anything, a word of mouth or a little bird tweeping in the wrong place, if any of my kind finds out they're doing necromantic magic of any veritable sort at the Temple of the Celestial Dragon, I will make sure you see what a full orcish invasion could be.
I mean, that's nice and all, but I still would like that information about what happened after the Jade Storm or whatever.
It is, to put it mildly, a piece of history that I could rarely forget after reading, so I will give you the shorthand version. After a rather misfortunate turn of events, the temple was left to ruin as the Jade Storm happened. And we don't call it the Jade Storm for nothing.
Yes, I've heard recounts of it, that it was quite devastating.
Imagine a volcano, but not natural. It is like that. People died, food was scarce, everything was just agony. But I'm guessing the piece of information you're looking for in actuality is the book. Am I correct?
Saren's eyes kind of narrow. What book specifically?
Don't count me as a fool. I might be hungover, but I can read between the lines. I listen.
Mm-hmm.
You've been looking for various books of, let's just say, questionable origin and power.
There you go. I'll DM'd you something, Ducky.
If you're ever planning on going for the book that was at the temple, I will give you a word of warning. Don't. For the love of life itself, don't. There's a certain tone to her voice that you know she's being absolute serious. There is no arguing to her about it.
Is there any particular reason why?
Because that book made the Jade Storm. It turned solid sea to jade.
Do you remember how it happened? What caused it?
So I'll just state, you know,
I'm looking at the book.
Okay, fair enough.
A individual amongst the higher rankings thought it best to take the power of the book into his own hands. And once stopped, well, the Jade Storm erupted, and the course of history was turned to what it is. It is not a pleasurable memory I bring forth to remember. So if it seems like I'm secretive about it, it is not because I want to be, it is because
No, I understand.
I am quite literally reliving a painful memory that all orcs can feel in their bones when talking about. Nobody wants to. Not even by their own will or forced. So what I'm doing to you now is more of a warning than anything.
Well, is there anything perhaps then that you can just give me for, or some place that you can steer me in direction for just reading the information so I don't have to cause you such discomfort?
Most books on it are scattered about. You'll rarely find any orcish place to carry them unless you are of orcish blood yourself.
Hmm.
But likely the archive would have something on it.
Okay.
But I will warn you once again. Don't seek the book. Not
That's
because
fine.
you'll reach it or anything, but it is named for a reason. The Book of the Seas.
Interesting. Didn't realize it had a name.
What else would we call it? It
I don't
turned
know. I don't
life
know anything
into
about
living
it.
hell for us.
Well, if there's no... Let's see. So a book on... Sorry, stretching. So, book on the occurrence and causes of the Jade Storm and would... So you say it wasn't the palace, but the Temple of the Celestial Dragon that was the center of the storm?
Yes.
I'm trying to just read up on history, so I'm just trying to learn things. I don't want to cause you this discomfort. If there's any means that you can just allow
The
me...
only discomfort I feel in talking about this particular set of events is because I know your school of practice, and I know what could come should you, in the uneventful impossibility of you getting hold of the book. It is not because I don't trust you, but it is an instinctual fear.
I understand. It's... The cult in question is looking for these books themselves. They also have the knowledge... Well, they're looking for the knowledge of certain things that the Grave Father has created. Do you know that name? The Grave Father? Do you know who he was before he was named thusly?
Oh, Yoon, you did once hear the name of Grave Father when encountering this familiar cult before the events that led up to the attack on Morkney with the Bone Maw. Certain individuals, such as that would be... So I've forgotten their names now. Nathania and Julius, as well as a couple of other cult members, mentioned this name of Grave Father.
I do recall the name. It was mentioned at Morkney more than a few times by the, individuals.
Yes. Do you... So, you speak of the book, the power that it holds and the power it contains, and what might happen if it falls into the wrong hands. Do you know the book was originally one of... Well... Do you know that the book is merely a fraction of a formal one? When its power siphoned into multiple different copies?
Sao just sort of closes her eyes and sort of nods lightly. I had a feeling it would be the case, but I was not certain.
Do you know who originally wrote that first book?
No. But do you?
Yes. I'll give you a hint.
Make a history check, the both of you.
Oh shit, I should probably get my character sheet open. Oh damn, they changed the spells.
I got a 7.
7. You have no idea who originally wrote the book, the original book she's referring to, nor the name of it. 24.
Net 20.
You have certainly heard rumor of the name of this book and the individual who wrote it. That would be Kusata the Bloody Mad, who wrote a book
What
called...
a fucking name.
Kusata the Bloody Mad, who wrote the book called The Infamous Apocryphon, which was then divided into 3 separate books by the earlier formations of the Empire of the Celestial Dragon during its first establishment, and so it was divided. It was as a way to divide the power of this tome between 3 books, and then scatter them to various different places in the world to be locked away, forgotten, and heavily guarded, and possibly never to be used again. The method of which they separated the books was through siphoning the ink of the pages into the pages of these 3 different tomes, turning the pages themselves entirely black.
Much akin to Siren's arms.
Maybe.
Perhaps, but you don't know
I
that.
haven't learned that out.
No, with a 7, you have no idea.
I don't.
Oh,
Sao don't, but I know.
So, Siren, what she's gonna say of this? Quick question, Jenner.
Mhm.
Would I know the different names of the 3 books? I know one is disease.
One, because I said it.
One.
Yeah.
From what you've learned from Sayun is the Black Book of Disease.
I didn't say Black Book. I said Book of Disease.
Yeah. Would I know the names of the other black books?
You wouldn't.
Okay. So, Siren's going... Let's see. After... Sorry, I need to get back on track of what I was saying. So, the original book was by your very people, divided into 3 to separate its power, to diffuse what damage it could do to the world. And right now, the Awakened are, let's say they're very close to undo that. The Gravefather has created multiple points, multiple nodes of magical presence around the world. At intersections of ley lines and things like that. I'm sure you understand what those are.
Mm-hmm.
And as such...
with the history of 7, Saoyun, you would not know what she's talking about.
I'm just reaffirming that she's talking.
Fair enough.
Yeah. As such, I, despising that group, am trying to cut them off at the pass. So, fighting fire with fire, I'm, again, just apologizing for what uncomfortableness this might inflict, but is there any knowledge or anything that you might know or have that might help?
I can only give you a reassurance that if they were to try and march towards where the book is kept, if they even know it, they
It
will
would
be
not.
met with nothing but the best of my kind.
It would not be a march sound. They would appear through shadows.
It would
They
not
would
matter.
lurk in places that do not allow for the full
You
force
saw
of
what
an Orcish
happened
army.
to me. I was tracked for 10 months, and I did not know I was tracked. There was not a word, there was not, an odd glance or a feeling from anywhere.
I
I was
understand,
one.
Sao. I understand, but look at Morkney. How long had that been going until, by happenstance, we came across them? If not for us being in the most opportune space at the opportune time, Morkney would be destroyed right now. I just don't wish that to happen to your people as well.
You can call me an orc by heart in saying that I do not believe they would even get close. If they could even manage to get an orcish person on their side to deal with necromancy like they do, it would be tantamount to suicide for anyone of my kind.
All it takes is one person in the know.
And all it takes is one word that somebody is doing necromancy, and their head will be on the floor the next time they meet somebody. It would not matter if it was a peasant or a warlord.
Alright?
Trust me. I am not hesitant to talk to you because I don't trust you. I actually do trust you. It is the fact that every moment you are within my presence, some part of me literally wants to take your head. I'm not saying this as a threat, I'm saying this as actual fact.
Well, I applaud you for waiting this long at least.
Trust me, I would have put a bullet in your head after I've met you. But I am not like most of my kind. as you probably have gathered already. While I might be a rare case, I do still feel the pull.
Well, we're going to have to deal with this at some point in time in the future. Hopefully by then, we'll have some more information to go on. Because despite your trust in me, I know let's just say that we'll trust but verify.
That is something I can agree to.
So, or Siren nods and then just kind of pats Sal on the shoulders like, you look like shit. You should go to bed.
Thanks, I would say the same, but you don't touch alcohol not nearly as much as we do.
Siren just gives a very dazzling smile. It's like, yes, there's reason for that. Anyway.
Oh, please. You probably had more in your lifetime than I've had ever.
You'd be surprised. I don't. Let's just say, it's not my preference.
No,
Yeah.
your preference lies with those of our kind. And she just sort of winks.
That's funny. Siren does kind of laugh at that. And then...
I'm picking up bad habits, aren't I?
No, that is perfectly fine. You do a lot better job than Vellum does.
He means well, but I will say this. He needs to hold back on the alcohol.
I feel that even if he tried that, he'd be just as blunt as he was with it. I guess he's too used to wielding that heavy hammer around as opposed to... Well, anyway. Get some sleep, Sal. You need it.
I will.
Okay.
And Siren is going to give like a nod and then turn around and walk back to the table
All right. So,
with people talking or whatever.
do you all wish to do anything else or say anything else before we all go to sleep for the night? We enter a new day?
Not really. Right now, I just want to lie down.
Okay.
Like, really lie down. I'll be on voice, but I won't be doing much rolling.
Alright, that's fair enough. Right. Okay, so you all eventually find yourselves falling to sleep for the night, and a new day eventually does dawn on you. 24th. You all kind of wake up as the general sort of morning drone of individuals kind of filtering in to the upstairs tavern for their morning their morning breakfast accoutrement, and Tristy, Misty, Calissa do all eventually bring down a moderately sized table of various breakfast meals, breakfast meats, bacons, eggs, that general sort of thing. It's nice food. The day is yours, essentially, Black Hand. What would you like to do? Most of the migraine has
subsided.
worn off, but it's still there, kind of throbbing in the back.
I think Sao would like to go out and acquire the materials as I mentioned before, but I think I can do that, without actually doing much talking because
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
literally not gonna be haggling for anything.
All right,
at
that's
this
fair enough. What would you like to purchase?
I would like to purchase, preferably steel of some sort, as well as 3 pieces of jade.
Okay. The
I'm not sure jade actually has a purchasable value.
it does actually. You can asking around. You can you do find out where some individuals sell kind of mostly uncut pieces of jade. One of the most prominent shops is, of course, Storied Stones and Rarities. So you've been here before. You've seen various sort of uncut gem pieces in kind of in small crates in corners up for purchase. You do find some jade. That would be at 100 gold pieces per jade, per uncut jade piece.
How much jade is that? That's what I need to know.
What do you require?
I require 1 piece, which I need for the gift I'm making for Nerold, which I did not get to make in time.
Right. Okay. So
And then I would need at least enough to make a set of inlays for a hilt.
okay. So let's see. Right. Jade, that would cost you around 100 gold pieces per clump of uncut jade. And you said you wanted steel as well. So.
Is everybody still here, or did
Yeah, I was about to say, did something
The
happen?
silence of...
Oh, pardon me. Sorry, I had my mic muted. Okay. So we wanted uncut jade for okay. So per clump of uncut jade, that would be let's see, 100 gold pieces per uncut jade.
How much would 1 piece of uncut jade give me? How long would it go?
Probably be for this crafting. Let's see here. Yeah, so you I'll say for this entire crafting project that would you would get 1 piece of jade's worth.
Alright, I will get that, so I'll
Okay.
deduct 100 golds for that.
Alrighty. And you wanted steel as well, yeah?
Yes, enough for a pair of blades.
A pair of blades, okay.
I do believe Vellum, or Sable in this case, would have more knowledge on the smithing part than anybody.
Yeah, you talking long swords or short swords?
Scimitar-ish.
How about a medium sword?
So I say I don't think there's.
I've got
like
it here.
Okay.
It's based on their cost, so take. I guess a falchion would be the closest comparative. Guess that's to it. Do everything else and I'll do the thing. Okay.
Right. So how many pounds of steel would that be considered?
6.
6 pounds of
Because
steel.
Scimitar is 3 pounds.
Yeah. Okay. So that would be 18 gold pieces for the 6 pounds. No. that's the wrong one. 24 gold pieces for 6 pounds of steel at. I'm doing this right.
Yeah, it's 4 GP per pound, I think.
Yeah. So 4 GP per pound, and you want 3 pounds. 3 pounds each for each blade. 6 pounds. Or that'd be 24 gold pieces.
Alright, 24 gold, that is... Yes.
And is there anything else you wanted to purchase while you are out today?
Does Willem have a jeweler's kit? That's the tool
does.
set. Good. I will need your assistance with something.
That is.
Alright, so would you like to do the rolls for that?
What rolls? I'm a bit hazy at the moment.
You wanted to forge some sort of piece of jewelry for Neril, yeah?
Not forge, cut.
Alright, cuts. Okay.
That's why I need Mr. Jeweler Boy over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back. So yeah. So
I will send it in PMs because I don't want Newell to actually know.
Yeah, sure. DM it over.
I mean, Neril's not here right now.
No, I mean.
It doesn't matter. It might still be visible,
Right.
or in the on the vlog.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, I will message Sable first, and then you generate with what it is.
Alright then. So, would you like me to pan over to someone else while you're doing that?
Yeah.
Okay. What else would anyone else like to do today? Bearing in mind you have time to. You have plenty of time to prepare for the upcoming trial, as well as preparing any sort of introductory performance, as was discussed before.
Man, I know. When I first got to the city, I tried to do it. I really need to meet with the king. Who's dragging around the skull of this dude in my backpack.
I mean, what's wrong with dragging around a skull in your backpack?
Skull of a cursed king that would get you executed on the spot if
I mean,
found
man,
out.
Yeah.
I mean, on the spot? I don't know. And I mean,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
like, and
You don't know?
no one's ever actually looked in Siren's bags.
Trust me, I don't
Does
want
anyone
to.
turn that inside out? Don't.
Don't, but seriously, don't.
Seriously, don't. I'm just kidding. Right by. Need to get my own bag of holding. That's a thing too.
Trust me, I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Well, I guess my errands for the day, which would be best summarized, is I need to make a meeting with the king and his head priest, and I need to get a fucking bag of holding.
Right. Let's see. Which one would you like to do first?
What time is it?
Currently, it is around 8 o'clock in the morning.
8 a.m.
Yes.
Man, bureaucracy never sleeps. Paperwork's gonna take a while, so I should probably do that first.
Sure.
I'm fine to summarize this.
Trying to summarize it, yeah.
Yeah, just cause I don't want to take up a bunch of time with going to the bullshit of me going through a meeting. I would invite Siren along just because I still want people to move in at least pairs, because
Okay.
assassins. Probably get Grunka invited too. I'd like to take it. I need to walk him.
Yeah.
Need to walk him, you know. Just make sure you carry bags.
Wow.
Listen, if he doesn't get to stretch his legs, he gets all excited.
Okay, so
Just Christopher walking that shit.
generally kind of asking around for meetings with Brator Yornmeyer, the Mountain King himself. You generally get funny looks, and some individuals scoff at you, but eventually you are directed towards the most reasonable first course of action would be, of course, inquiring with individuals guarding the King's throne room in the King's Promenade.
Okay.
So
that is a way to go.
You do eventually kind of make your way around to the King's Promenade, kind of making your way through the thoroughfare. You, unless you wish to hire a cart at 1 silver per person.
Of course, I don't walk. Also, important beeline. Silvered Threads and Hatted Heads is an amazing name, and is that a fancy clothes store?
You don't know.
It's a haberdashery, my friend.
And just like that, Balthazar is immediately distracted. You'll never see the king at this rate.
I mean, you've heard of the store, but you've heard of its location, but you don't know what it is.
Well, I mean, if I don't have the right clothes, don't make a good impression. I gotta get something culturally appropriate for my king here.
If you like.
Siren, do you want to go shopping? I've heard of this wonderful clothes store. I know you don't often wear them, but they have little hats, decorations for the horns.
Did you just say nipple tassels?
Yes.
That's where the silver threads comes in, huh?
We just open Photoshop.
Yes. No. Yes, of course. You know I always like to cut a figure.
Alright, so you want to head there?
I love that. Yes.
Okay then. So you you kind of ask the cartman to kind of redirect your route through to the bronze quarter. You can probably cut through a few alleys, up a few stairs to make your way to the King's Promenade afterwards. And as soon as you mention silver threads and hatted heads, the cartman kind of rolls his eyes a bit and says, "You're in for a bit of an experience with a bit of a character if you want to head there." He kind of takes you through the bronze quarter. Sorry?
How bad of a person is this character?
Well, he's a bit on the creepy side, if you ask me.
Well, we are asking you, but like how creepy?
You'll see when you get there. He kind of turns his head back to the open kind of city road. And eventually,
yes,
you do find what looks like a kind of you come upon a very nice looking exterior to like some sort of what you probably assumed right in there was it was definitely a fancy clothes store, fancy haberdashery. You make your way in, and the place is filled with all sorts of very finely trimmed clothing, and you can see various ornate hats kind of sat up on these kind of mannequin stands made out of wood. You do see kind of emerging around from the back. It's very it's very thin, kind of gaunt-looking individual. He's wearing this kind of long red robe, kind of bald on top, very sunken eyes, very gaunt face. He's got his both of his hands kind of curled into the sleeves of his robe, as he less kind of shuffles and more just kind of drifts along. And you estimate he's about 5'5", not very tall individual. And he kind of looks to both of you, and he says, "Can I help you?"
Oh no.
You want to purchase some clothing, yes?
I love him. Did Grunka come along?
I assume
Sorry, I
so.
got a phone call just then.
I guess I did. If you want me to
Okay,
come,
because
I-
we invited you. It's your choice if you want to or not. We invited you.
sure.
What a pain. You sure? I will motion to my pet goblin dog. Yes, I need some proper clothes for this.
Oh, that is quite an unusual sight.
Yes, well,
I think I have a few things in halfling size. You see, he's very much that sort of creepy vizier type visage.
I love this man. He needs to handle my trade business.
The way he
I want this man as a
talks-
tax collector.
The way he talks reminds me of the G-Man.
It's sort of wispy, this wispy white hair kind of dragging down to his shoulders. Almost looks like a more civilized golem.
Jesus Christ. I'm gonna lean over and quietly whisper in demonic to Siren. What do you bet is going to be a jester suit?
I mean, I feel bad that Vellum's not here.
Touche.
I love that Sable's muted.
Me too.
Yeah, I'm muted. I kind of actually missed what you said. so-
Oh, that's fine then.
I do have some experience in clothing goblins. He watches. He kind of looks over his shoulder. And says, he kind of wanders over to the back of the counter and kind of calls out, "Brindle, Brindle, where are you?" Just one moment.
Oh boy.
Please let it be more than a moment.
Grindel Groundswitch! Get down here! Excuse me for a moment. He kind of
I no trouble with the help.
kind of glides through to the back room very unnervingly. It's unsettling.
Less akin to a walk, more akin to a float.
Oh yes, it's very weird. And you watch as well, rather you hear something akin to, all right, I'm fucking coming, all right, good God. And eventually you see him return with a shorter individual, similar to Grunka, except his skin is green, red eyes, and whereas normally goblin noses are very stout, very kind of button nose, this one is sort of slightly bulbous and red. And he's kind of squinting through spectacles that make his eyes much too large for his head. Kind of the bottle
The
cap.
shopkeep was a human or a dwarf?
Shopkeep was human.
Thought so.
Alright.
Thank you.
What can I do for you? My name is Grindel Grummage. And you've got oh my. He kind of adjusts his large spectacles as he looks at Grunka over the counter, and eventually.
Amazing specimen, isn't he?
Oh, quite! I've not seen many of these in quite some time.
I don't even fully know what he is, but look at these shoulders. He's gonna like pat Grunker's shoulders. They're nearly as wide as his head.
I've not seen one of these ever since I fled Undertown. Anyway, he watches the original shopkeep returns with a set of what looks like almost like a fancy children's clothing.
Now, Grindle, if you wouldn't mind putting this on.
What? You want me to put that on and for... You want me to sacrifice my dignity?
Yes.
Oh, fine.
If only to see what, only to see, for our guests, to see what their pets might look like.
Oh, fucking give me that. Kind of snatches it out of his hand, kind of mutters and grumbles his way back to the back room.
He'll be, with you in just a moment.
Live models. I like this.
Eventually, he begrudgingly returns with almost like a little bit sized a bit too small for him, and you can see kind of his upper arms kind of billow out for a moment with a. It looks like this kind of royal green silk, laced with like cotton and sort of fine linens. It looks like he's kind of waddling, choking a little bit.
How's this? Well, what do you think?
It looks comedic almost.
In Goblin, Grunk is gonna say, you look terrible.
And he replies with, "Yeah, I know. All right, just don't give me shit. All right, I've been this guy's the only thing giving me stable employment."
Understandable. So, what is his deal? Why is he like this?
Look, he's just fucking weird. All right. I don't know. I don't inquire. That just he just gives me the look.
All right. Well, I'm not putting that on.
Yeah, I don't blame you. All right. Master, he says he don't like it.
No, it's terrible.
Well, I'm sure we can find something else, can't we, Grindle?
Which as he wanders back into the back, and you hear a few.
Ah, shit! Fuck! Careful, Grindle. We don't want to scare our new customers away.
And eventually, he does return with what looks like better fitting. Looks like it was probably made for a halfling. It's very nice, kind of a
Halfling.
Sorry.
A halfling? Would that fit, Grunker?
Might be a bit big, but you could probably resize it.
Retrofit.
From what you can gather, looking at Grindle, as you now know him by, the goblin, he does look to be wearing some sort of similar outfit that looks like it's been made for a halfling, but has been kind of retroactively fitted to his goblin physique.
It's obviously like a button-up, right? Because everybody knows that goblins don't put shirts on above their heads.
It looks.
That's the widest part of their body.
Looks like a small kind of miniature-looking suit almost. with a sort of white ruffle at the front. Kind of dyed is kind of deep blue, deep royal blue. It looks nice. A little bit off-putting on a goblin, but most fancy clothes do. Goblins
do you
aren't
like it, Bianca?
goblins aren't known for wearing fancy clothes.
Do you like this?
Looks to Grunker. Grindel's just looking at Grunker. He just looks thoroughly defeated. with this look of please buy it, please get me out of this thing.
Why do I need this?
Granka,
He asks Balthazar.
I would like to get you a nice set of clothes. You have rags you have worn on a boat and slept in many things. If this is what you're comfortable with, that is fine. But we need to make good impressions on people. Which means you need to wear nice clothes. This means you get to walk free as you wish and not be huddled in a cloak pretending to be some sickly halfling.
Lucas kind of looks at the suit. Just gonna say in Goblin. Well, I hope it looks a lot better on me than it does on you. Okay. Okay, fine.
Grindel visibly kind of sighs and kind of shrieks into himself, just relieved, as he immediately goes around the back to pull it off.
Oh, so you like this one?
No.
What? No.
No. But I need.
Which one do you like?
Kind of gestures down to his rags.
Sarah's gonna look at the guy saying, "Do you have some nice-looking rags? Something
Fancy.
like very like avant-garde that perhaps you'll see,
Silken.
And she like motions to her own like outfit, which in all sense and purposes is could be misconstrued as rags, given that it doesn't cover much.
Fancy rags.
It's like something like this.
I'm afraid that, well, rags aren't really known for being too fancy, but
Siren's eyes narrow noticeably when he says that. It was just an expression. Do you have something like this?
I can definitely improvise something. Would be a custom order, but not too expensive. I can probably whip you up something in an hour.
Hey, Janer.
Yes.
Would I be able to give him instructions on making something that's actually Deep Dweller fancy? Something that's actually
I'm just thinking, what if you give him
culturally fancy?
You generally that fancy Deep Dweller garb is normally made out of materials found within the Deep Dark.
Yeah, but something that's
I think
as similar as he could get it.
Right. Okay. So that would be an expensive custom job. Might not be ready in time for a meeting with the king.
How many days
have,
do we
a
have
week.
until?
Like 1 day less. 6 days.
Yeah. It's on the 28th.
And it's the 24th right now.
So we have 4 days?
Yes. Including the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if you include today.
Alright.
Okay. If he can get it done in that time.
Alright. So you give him this information, Gronka?
Sure.
Alright. He says,
"It is very strange, probably the strangest commission that I've done, but let's see what these fingers can do."
and as he says that, for the first time you see him kind of take his hands out of his sleeves, and the long gangly fingers, longer than they should be, and he kind of wiggles them a bit, and it's very unnerving. They're tipped, and they're kind
is unnerving.
tipped with these kind of long, these long gangly claws as well.
Ooh.
Gonna was saying, is the other goblin there?
The other goblin is just standing by the shop owner.
Guess just kind of look at him and be like, "Are you sure it's worth it?"
He says back in Goblin,
Well, I can't fault this, I can't fault his skill, to be honest. He's a bit creepy, but he's good at what he does.
I mean, yeah, sure. Okay, fine. I'm sure he is.
kind of nods back. Says,
So, do you wish to, make this commission?
Do you like it, Granka?
Well, it's not done yet, but I hope it will.
Well, yes. Do you like what you have said?
I think.
Do you want this?
I hope it will be. I hope it will be good. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
What is the total? As he looks to the shopkeep.
A custom order of this uniqueness will probably run you about 100 gold pieces.
Very well. May I have one suggestion?
Yes.
Granka, what about a small pocket on the breast for you to securely keep Webby?
Well, would it be better to have it on the inside?
Sure.
Probably safer.
I think that would be wise. Very well. 100 gold, you said. And he will
Yes.
reach into the pocket of his breast and start pulling out platinum pieces. He's gonna count out 10.
okay. He, as one by one you kind of slide them over the table in a pile. He kind of reaches over with his long gnarled fingers, kind of clasps them around the platinum, kind of the 10 platinum pieces, and kind of, and he brings them into his robe, and they just vanish.
It will be
There you
done
go.
within the next 3 days.
We will return then.
Please see that you do.
Very well. We shall be off.
Okay.
Come, you two. Errands and lunch awaits.
Okay, so next you wish to you wish to see about the front gate of the King's Promenade, yeah?
Yeah, I gotta set up a meeting in, like, I guess 3 days.
Okay then. So you make your way up a few alleys, a few stairs, through a few back alleys, trying to cutting through to the upper ring here, through to the King's Promenade. You can see the two massive statues of the familiar visage of Dune, kind of flanking either side of a huge emerald doorway. And you see, it's. Streets here are less busy than the rest of the city. You gather, not many individuals come here unless it's on official business. So you see, see flanking the emerald door, look like four armored dwarven individuals. You've seen armored iron guard around the city. These four dwarves are clad in solid bronze or gold armor. You can see they carry these sizable octagonal bucklers by their sides, as well as a series of long kind of angular swords, kind of sheathed by their sides. One carries a large hammer. You can see the helmets are mostly full face, except the beard kind of shows beneath, where their mouth kind of cuts across. You can see the helmets themselves have these visages of these large goat-like ram horns, kind of decorating the sides of them. And they're just standing there, just keeping watch, just ever vigilant. It's unusual. You've not seen these types of armored individuals throughout the rest of the city. You've just seen them here. This is the first time.
Big armor. Forgive me for saying, but big iron. All right. Let's approach a guard. State my name and my business.
Hey, can I help you?
I'm just being time conscious on this.
Okay.
Do we want to roleplay everything, or do we want to expedite some of the things since we don't have Vellum with us, for
fair.
example?
So as you kind of begin to request an audience, this is I'm sorry, but the High King has requested that he not be disturbed by he's indispensed with his council and meetings with the Duunhollow militia regarding the recent attacks.
I understand that. I am coming with vital information that could very well be related to this, and as well as to see if the Black Hand, we are the ones who just took care of Crothis, might be able to assist him with this matter.
Heard of a white dragon being slain within the Jorthurst. That was you, was it?
Yes. Correct. And with that, I will bear my forearm on the other arm that has the symbol of the Hunter's Keep.
He kind of acknowledges that. Just acknowledges it. There's no overt surprise. We've also heard requests from a certain Black Hand coming through from the Iron Guard. As you recall, before you did when you attempted to gain entry to the Golden Circle, you did
yes,
you did converse briefly with a couple of the Iron Guard here.
Mm-hmm.
A request did come through, Black Hand, for a meeting with the King. And that's, unfortunately, the most we can promise you. But you may be open to visitors come next week. I apologise, but... So go ahead.
Given the vital nature of this, I am concerned if this information is to go with us if we are to pass in the upcoming trials.
They all kind of look to each other for a moment. Well, if that's the case, if that's your worry, you can leave the information with us, and we'll deliver it to the king himself.
This is something you do not wish to speak of, and I come bearing a burden that no dwarf's hand should ever touch. I fear that it may be directly related to the rise of the deep dwarves.
If this is anything in additional to the information we received from the Yarngard regarding the apparent revival of the so-called King Nogdor, am I correct in that assumption?
Yes. The burden I bear is its proof.
And what, pray tell, is that burden?
Oh, the head of an old fucking cannibal king.
Much.
Yeah, nothing on that. He's going to turn to Siren and say, in demonic, we could get into the gates right now if we want. Do we wish to tell them?
Tell them, but still make the appointment. And then she kind of looks at Grunko when she says that.
In my possession is the last remains of the animated. I have given what rights that I could secure from a priest in Cliffspire. But I believe this is tied to a group called the Awakened. In fact, I know it is. They're the ones who raided the tomb, and we expelled.
They all look to each other.
Oh, he's just gonna finish by saying, to ensure he never rises again, this must go to the king's greatest church official. And before then, he must know.
They all kind of look to each other for a brief moment, confused. The first guard says, "We're not familiar with this awakened you speak of. What if you seek church officials, then your best bet will be the Duunhollow district."
Yes.
I would recommend. I would recommend sending any remains that you have in your possession to the officials at the Duunhollow district.
At this, Siren's going to...
The king wants that out. And after that, seeing Siren's starting to speak, he's gonna lean back and let her get into the conversation.
Siren's going to kind of, step in. It's like, God or officer, I'm sorry, what is your name, sir? And this is in Dwarven.
The generator.
The name's Bernd Kabrick. Put that in text for you.
Thank you. Bernd Kabrick. And Bernd Kabrick, what is your rank?
Swallow the mouse bit.
It's like,
Nice.
Sure. I mean, I just like to think that Siren made, when she asked that, just made oh shit. And then, she starts going
Yeah. Mountain Guard of the Mountain King.
Okay. And Mountain Guard, I must apologize. I don't know the, I guess, order of this. I'm only familiar with Captain Thundrim Brasheim. But with this, I was wondering. You're obviously very. Sorry, I just read Grunkus thing. You're obviously looking for the safety of your king, and that I commend you with the utmost regard. The issue is that what we bring forth also concerns the safety of the king. And as such, as officials both of Morkney, of Cliffspire, and she's going to pull out the Port Morkney ambassador or
Medallion.
Medallion.
Another medallion.
Ambassadorial medallion. It's we come on behalf of a concerned people for your king. And while what we bring is urgent, quite, I can understand if your fear for your king's safety might temper the sense of urgency. But if we could at least have a meeting set up within the next few days, preferably on the 27th, before we go into the arena, I think it would be best for both ourselves, your king, and your people. Do you not agree?
Make a persuasion check.
Damn, I don't have inspiration. Alright. Let's do this.
Oh, fuck, I was muted. I was gonna say if there's anything I could do to aid.
Too late now.
But you rolled really good.
Yep.
And thinks to himself for a moment. The other mountain guard begins to kind of talk amongst themselves for a brief moment. He says, "We're just the royal guards, but what we can do is inquire with the council regarding any sort of meeting for this tournament, the trial. What we would like to do in exchange, perhaps take this artifact that you have in your possession, present it to the council, for the king himself, him to make sense of, before the meeting is to take place. That we might establish any topical discussion. See."
Of course. And Zard's going to look back to Balthazar and then Demonic, say, "Yes, perhaps the only way that we'll actually get an audience with the king before the arena. Do you wish to part with Skull?"
Skull.
I cannot help but feel that it is something we should give in person.
I also just realized that they were talking in Dwarven. Siren relays that conversation to Balthazar, and then asks that question.
There you go. I had assumed.
Yeah.
But, I cannot help but feel that simply giving away the skull is akin to giving away... What's the right word for this? Not honor, but our prestige.
I think that
Can't go away.
with... it's like... I look at the guard being attacked by a cat, and then I look back at Balthazar. I think that with the skull at the king's fingertips, it will provide more prestige and perhaps a better first impression than if we come in with it. It will temper and set the foundation for the type of people that he will perceive us as.
kind of raises his brows, puckers his lips a little bit, nods his head as he thinks, yeah, that's about right. Turns to the guard, and in common, or trade tongue.
What if I heed your advice? What if we take the remains to your great chapel? Give it to the greatest official there. If they can validify that it truly is what I claim, in those 3 days, can you assure that we get a meeting? Because this is something that could be national security.
Both look, they all kind of look to each other for a moment. And kind of, you hear Dwarven chatter. Too low for you to
I'll
make
finish
outside.
it off with a zinger. Finish it off with a zinger as I lean in very close and whisper.
Unless you wish to touch the head of Nogdor.
Ashbane.
It's Ashbite, actually. No.
I don't actually say that.
Yeah.
That was just me out of character.
They all kind of pause for a moment. Balthazar would like you to make a persuasion check.
Sarah's just gonna look imposing behind. Well, not imposing. She's gonna look regal. This is a regal thing. Because we're...
Give me the... Oh, shit, I rolled a 5. Total 12.
Will think to themselves for a moment. The first one approaches you, Balthazar, and says, "There is no guarantee that you'll get a true hearing within before the trials, but I can guarantee you, if you take the skull, the Duunhollow district, you'll be given a proper burial. More than likely, the king himself will probably see to it, after the fact, that it is properly buried. And if you say it's true that the body of this king was risen once more, right, you and your group, so I'm told, then, more than likely, protections will be done to make sure that there is no scourge of undeath still resting upon the skull."
It would be wise. I do not mean to insult them, but I took it away only a base priest at Cliffspire. I'm certain you can do more here. If that is the case, then I will have no choice but to go to the Duunhollow district, yes?
Aye, yes. We will do what we can to secure you a meeting with the king, but we are his loyal guard. We are not his advisors. There is only so much we can do.
Of course.
It is fine.
We can simply pass on this information and hope for the best in your favor.
Oh, go ahead.
Quick question, Baron. Baron Kabrek.
Yes.
What? Surely you have methods of transporting messages and whatnot. Do all messengers stop before the gates and are turned away, handing the messages over to you, or because we wish this to be as formal as possible, this meeting?
Most of the arcane abilities that would lie within the king's inner high council. But most of the time, we do ferry messages back and forth between the wider city and the king himself. Part of the Mountain Guard's duty.
How often does the king actually see officials and visiting ambassadors from other countries?
You have to understand that the Mountain King himself is a very busy man. Does what he can.
Of course.
And Provided he's not busy with other more immediate matters. Does what he can.
Of course. It's just, I don't wish him to be slighted by his loyal and very competent mountain guards turning away officials from a neighboring friendly kingdom.
Of course.
Country.
Regardless, the information provided for us with the information you've given the Iron Guard has provided a basis for this meeting.
Right.
And reiterate the need for a meeting. I suspect this information is certainly true. Then I can see that the situation lands in your favor. That's all I can see.
Of course. Thank you very much, Karen. And we look forward to meeting the king. May Dude's heart be with you.
Nods towards you. Will return back to their posts.
Well, I guess we're taking the skull to the Duunhollow district.
Alright then. Make your
I
way.
suppose we are.
Okay. Let's see. Okay.
Does anyone
You
else
want to see
do
what
things?
fucking... Yeah, what the great adventures of Velm and Saoyun.
Sure. Velum and Saoyun, what are you two doing?
Other than having awkward sexual tension.
You okay there, Ducky? Good to go?
I'm good. Let's just get these rolls out of the way so I can go lie down.
So, to sum it up, I will be doing a jeweler's tool roll while Ducky will be doing the crafting rolls for the scimitars.
Okay then.
Is Sal going to be working on it all day or just 4 hours?
Pretty much until she's done.
Okay. There's 16, so that's...
So you're doing this where? Within just outside?
Yeah,
At
she's...
Velum's Forge.
Yeah.
So as last time, I imagine Velum, you're doing outside of the city.
Yeah. He'll set up.
Where else gets sunlight?
Yeah.
Yeah. He'll set up, and while he's a bit paranoid, he trusts Sal enough.
So I just click Smith Tools.
Yeah. Okay, so...
I know I've read over the rules, but I don't have to.
Yeah,
read
I'm
them
just
right now.
clarifying it. Make 2 checks.
Right. 1, 2.
Well, they're done.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, over a 20 you get 2 crafting points, and scimitars are 2 crafting points each.
Well, you only take how many hours would that be?
It's 8 hours, but
Okay.
you know, it's all done. That's as long as it takes.
All right then.
Thank
I need
God
to
for
make a
artificial expertise.
Thank God for expertise, right?
Mhm.
Okay, let me make my jeweler's tool check. And there's no actual thing for this, so I guess just DM eyeball it, gauge the success of it.
Okay.
Just base it off the fucking thing for a normal crafting check.
Mhm. Go ahead and make your rolls with Dex.
Oh, right. I had the drop down just hanging in front of my face like a dingus.
14. Okay. So this is going to take most of the day to do.
Yeah.
It's not finished by any means. There's
And it's secret, remember, so be careful what you say.
yeah. Yeah. So it's not finished. It's going to take You probably need another roll for tomorrow to complete that. Anyways, let's see. So now that those rolls out of the way, shall we pan back to the Duunhollow district?
And with that, I am going to lie down.
Okay.
I might
Yeah, I
still
was
be
about to say.
listening
You
for
go.
a while,
You go.
but
Cat, stop.
You go rest, Ducky. You got all the jazz you wanted to sort out, and if there's anything character-wise, just DM it, because it'll be in the vicinity.
yeah, I'll be muted, but not sure how long I'll be listening in. Just have at it. You guys are doing great.
Feel better, Ducko.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Venturing back. So, make your way through the Duunhollow district to the across the upper ring of the city to the western end of Duunhollow, and you cross what looks like a. Well, first of all, you enter into a massive a massive cavern, approximately. That's it's going to be big. Approximately 500 feet long, and approximately 300 feet across. And it's you find yourselves descending down a massive set of stone massive set of stone stairs, like an immensely long dwarven walkway, about 50 feet across, and it extends throughout this entire cavern, and it just descends down and down and down at a gradual angle. The immensity is not what you first notice, but that you look over the edge, and this entire walkway is suspended over a massive pool of molten lava. The heat is it's a little uncomfortable, even for your kind, demons, and even Grunker. But you bear it. Continue descending down the walkway. You eventually venture into a gargantuan round chamber of earth and finely carved stone, approximately 1,000 feet across, 500 feet high. You again see the carved dwellings stacked high into the walls, but interspersed between them are enormous columns which stretch high into what appears to be a domed ring of pillars surrounding a grand series of ruins. At the centre of this massive hall, this massive cavern, suspended and extending up from what appears to be an enormous magma chamber far, far below. It's like the outer ring of this chamber has evolved and been built around as built upon as time has gone by. But the central raw rock and ruins in the centre has been left unscathed for at least, from what you can judge, many hundreds of years, maybe more. See enormous ruined steps leading far up into the centre of the ruin, where you could see a bright point of light in the very central platform. The scent of brimstone and ash is immediate. You see throughout the exterior ring are platforms upon which sit ceremonial forging stations. Each platform seems surrounded by its own kind of entourage of temporary homes, not quite as large as a tent city, but definitely a significant number of places where individuals seem to be staying. You see each person appears to be smithing simple implements as you walk through this chamber. Swords, piece of armor, a dagger, piece of jewelry, and then kind of joining a line. The lines lead to large offering tables where each individual is reverently offering their creation. You also see other individuals throwing bars of iron, copper, bronze, and other metals into great melting pots by the sides of this great pit of molten magma ruins. The melting pots by the side of the great pit of molten magma that the ruins kind of stand over. You also see rivers of magma beneath the stone grates throughout the ring, all flowing towards the central ruin and pouring out the sides in glowing orange falls. It's like being at the centre of an inhabited magma chamber. The heat isn't uncomfortable, but it's also hard not to notice it. And what you also see, hanging above the central ruin, is an enormous luminescent crystal, approximately 100 feet in diameter from the stalagmite-ridden ceiling, which gradually thins to a point just above the blazing point of light in the middle of the ruin. It glows a bright, brilliant blue-white, lighting the chamber from above. You can also hear an ever-present hymn. It's faint and soft, but it resonates with a deep baritone choir. So, what would you like to do?
Is this the actual church area, or is this just their forge area?
From what you can gather, this appears to be more like a It definitely appears to be more like a forge area. Place from what you can gather, set up to be forging in reverence to Dune or ancestry worship, that sort of thing.
Does anyone here look to be a member of clergy?
There are many crowds of people around here. Make a perception check.
Not good at these.
It's
all the dwarves look the fucking same.
Racist. It is very much. It's very difficult to pick out any individual who looks to be of Dunish worship, the sort of Dunish worshipping type.
Shit. Siren, I don't know if this is where we are supposed to be.
Look to Siren and kind of look around and shrug.
Might be muted.
Realized I was muted.
Yeah, there you go.
Are there... Okay. Aren't there... Isn't there not anything further in? This doesn't seem like a temple per se. And, well, I mean, it is dwarves. They're weird about crafting, but we always could just ask.
Yeah, but I can't tell them apart. They all look the fucking same.
As he speaks in Demonic.
I'll ask one of the... Hold on. And then Siren's going to look for the nearest dwarf, and then look for the nearest dwarf in similar gear. If this is anything like a temple, then the people of the temple are going to try to look the same.
Yeah. Going to look for one, yeah?
Yeah, she's going to, like, walk up to the like closest clergy-like dwarf.
Okay. Looking for clergy amidst this these crowds is going to require a perception check, unless you wish to just walk up to some dwarf.
Actually, no, fuck it. I'm gonna walk up to some dwarf.
Okay.
You're like, hello, friends. Dune's heart be with you. In Dwarven.
You walk up to a very elderly-looking dwarf who's going to sat by what looks like some sort of tent set up amidst all the others.
Hello, what can I do for you?
My compatriots and I, and she motions back to Balthazar and Kronka, are looking to speak with some of the head clergy. We were directed here by the Mountain Guard.
Oh, you'll be wanting to find the Cathedral of the Mountain King. Find that up north. Unless you wish to pay your respects to Dune.
We will be, of course, but for now, we have urgent matters to discuss for the king, and we need the clergy's help before we do so.
Very well. If you just head that way up, continue around the ring to the north. You'll find what you're looking for. They're always willing to take in some of the more unfortunate souls.
Of course.
When the door opens.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. And Sarah's going to give him like a small nod. Dune's heart be with you, and then walk back to Balthazar. That way. She's going to point north.
Okay.
That's where we need to go.
All right. So you find your way kind of navigating through the sort of small kind of tent villages that have been set up across the ring in its entirety throughout the various crowds of people. It's strange. Not just dwarves here. You see, of course, humans, halflings, but you can also see a couple of half-orcs as well, and the occasional mountain folk. They all seem to be very much in the way of kind of set up in kind of blacksmith garb, all each of them kind of forging anything at the anvils, be it daggers, swords, even if it's not, even if it doesn't appear to be very intricate forging, it's forging nonetheless. They appear to be caring more about the forging aspect, the creation aspect there, than the quality. Make your way around up to the north. You come upon a gargantuan set of emerald doors, and you can see one of them is jarred just ever so slightly open. Approximately 75 feet tall. It's grandiose. It almost matches the cave ceiling in its height.
Well done. Let's... Sarah kind of motions to Balthazar. Like, I guess we'll go.
Okay, make me way
It
into...
seems that is all we have.
Alright. You said the gigantic door is slightly ajar?
Slightly ajar, yes. You can see some individuals kind of coming in and out.
Oh, so this is like slightly ajar for a 75-foot high door.
Yes, slightly ajar for a massive door.
Okay, gotcha.
From a distance, it almost looks closed due to the sheer scale.
Okay, gotcha. I was thinking like a few inches, but if people are walking through, it's like, oh, okay, shit, yeah.
It is more than large enough for you to walk through. You could see individuals kind of emerging out in these ornate-looking emerald robes. Some of them carrying kind of what look like kind of chained tomes to their side. You can see most of them are adorned in this sort of like ornate woad-like painting across their face. These are pretty much entirely dwarves. This is probably the clergy.
All right. Man, that's huge.
You enter into an equally gargantuan chamber as before, immaculately carved
for the
stone.
doors.
Yep, immaculately carved stone, angular in design, various banners kind of dangling from the walls. You estimate this entire place to be anywhere between at least 600 feet long, maybe 200 feet high. It is impressive and daunting, to say the least, and your footsteps, your hoof steps, echo through the halls, deafeningly.
No right to be this big.
As most dwarvish places are.
Imagine how big it is for them and their tiny fucking bodies.
Mm-hmm. I would like Siren, since you speak Dwarvish, I'd like you to make a history check.
Alrighty then. Doing something. History.
20.
Oh yeah.
Very nice. So, from what you do know from studying, studying Dwarven language, you also got a bit of a tertiary history, along with the language, as well as various locations of interest, especially in the Dwarven capital of Duunhollow. The room you just passed, the Duunheart Forge, centre of all Dwarven worship and effectively a mecca for many forgers, blacksmiths, and anyone who creates from metal and gems. How nature crafts the most beautiful flowers. Reverence to the bounties of the deep earth that mortals craft great wonders from. That's what many individuals who journey here see as beauty. Know that thousands visit the Duunheart Forge every year in pilgrimage, who pay their respects not just to Dune, also to their ancestors through the gift of creation. Not just creation, but also destruction, to maintain the balance. When a creation has served its purpose, it is given back to the earth from where forgers took it from, in hopes that either their ancestors or Dune himself might make use of it for his battles to come. Is what you saw when individuals were taking various brass ingots, various swords and daggers, and putting them into these great metal melting pots by the side of the great ravine of magma below. And the ruins in the centre once, apparently, according to myth and legend, once served as Dune's personal forge in the years immediately after Duunhollow's establishment. When all of it was when all Duunhollow was a hollowed-out cavern housing a simple village. Of course, many years later, after Dune's passing, the Cathedral of the Mountain King, which is where you now stand, was carved from the very stone itself.
I share this small history lesson with the rest of the group.
Okay. You see,
hey, the power of history.
Hey. see a number of equally dressed, kind of emerald robed dwarven figures, some male, some female, kind of wandering about with various scrolls in hand under their arms. A couple of individuals off to the side wearing waving this sort of incense back and forth. You can see the smoke, sort of incense mist drifting off of it as it kind of billows throughout the hall.
Well, Siren kind of looks at Balthazar and then motions to the emerald-clad dwarves. I think we found a clergy. Perhaps there's a higher-ranking one somewhere that they can direct us to.
Yes. I think it would be wise. Well then, there's nothing to lose but, excuse me.
You come across an older dwarven woman, who looks to be kind of part of the entourage that's leading the incense burning. She kind of breaks away from the group to address all of you.
What can I do for you?
I have important physical remains that need to be blessed. And due to their nature of having once been undead, I need a very powerful cleric.
Oh.
It also is a very sensitive matter politically. And flash the badge, I need to speak to whoever is in charge here.
Well, if you want...
This is the course of action suggested by the mountain guard guarding the... I forget the name of the district. The throne.
That would be the King's Promenade.
By the guards of the King's Promenade.
I'm afraid our most skilled... bless her, how would you call it? The most skilled in that, most skilled healer, and she kind of stumbles upon her words for him and says, her visage grows a bit dark. I'm afraid she's not returned quite some time, but the mistress in charge is still around. I'm not sure if she might be as skilled as her apprentice. Been missing for quite some time, but I can direct you to High Mistress Solara on Onyx Oath.
It is more political than just blessing. So, I would appreciate being led to whoever is the head here.
Very well, follow me.
It kind of leads you through the massive hall, which looking up just gives you vertigo. You kind of have to steady yourself from being dizzy a bit.
You bend backwards to see the ceiling.
Mm-hmm. You kind of brings you off towards a smaller side room, though considering the sheer scale of the cathedral itself, small is relative. Still quite large. You see another elderly woman, kind of elderly dwarven woman, kind of it's like a hands clasped towards her chest, kind of knelt down in reverence to what looks like a familiar statue of Dune. And she is very, very regally dressed. Yeah, you can see large kind of it's like a large kind of emerald mantle, which with all sorts of ornate gems and emeralds kind of dangling off of it. You can see a high collar, of angular in design. Kind of stands up from a prayer for a moment and looks to all of you. The elderly dwarven woman that escorted you kind of gestures and says,
"These individuals wish to see you about consecration."
Yeah, she kind of stands up, and despite how old she looks in better shape than the older woman who escorted you. She says, very well. Lynn, you are dismissed to return to your duties.
Thank you kindly, mistress.
Hobbles out of the room. So, you wish for remains to be consecrated? Looks to all of you expectantly.
Alice is muted. Also,
Oh shit, thanks.
Oh damn it.
Muted myself to sniffle and I forgot to undo the process. Are we alone in this room?
You are alone with High Mistress Elara, Onyx Oath.
Very well. I will reach into my bag and take out the carefully and religiously bundled skull.
This is something very important.
Kind of steps forward for a moment of her shoes, her heels kind of clacking across the stone floor, echoing throughout the chamber.
And what is this? Might I ask who this belonged to?
A bit of context first. Do you know of a cult called the Awakened?
That name doesn't ring a bell, no.
Shame. There is a powerful necromantic cult, more than just necromantic, working with terrible beasts, bone golems, devils. And they found the forgotten place. In their attempts to seize Mortney, of which we are representatives, they found the safe haven of the tomb. They breached it, and they violated it. They found him, and they made his corpse walk. It was foul and murderous, and took us all we could just to fell it. The body was destroyed, and this is all that is left.
As he, on one hand, holds out the bundle and the other undoes the cloth to slowly reveal it and tilt up to see the top teeth.
The last remains of Nogdor Ashbite, risen in his hate and attempt to take back this place.
Her eyes just go wide as you present all of this information. It's grave information in one go. Make a persuasion check.
Yeah, okay. What is Siren doing while this is going on?
What is she doing?
I mean, she was letting Balthazar have his moment of drama.
Thank you. Theatrics. I didn't know if she wanted to get in on the theatrics. Before I roll.
Siren is going to nod as soon as he presents it. Yes, and we would wish it to be both cleansed, consecrated, and made sure that no necromantic energy lingers within it before we present it to your king.
Right, give me a sec. Rummaging through my notes.
Also, just a quick question. Did we ever learn what the king's name was?
Brett and Yormar.
I believe you did.
Okay.
I know I had relations through my trade guy and other doors, as well as a history check, so I think we know in character.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay. I believe the effect you're looking for. To consecrate this skull. Actually, no. You gotta make a persuasion check first, don't you?
Yes.
Yes, I do.
Would my...
But here is that persuasion.
Yes.
You did good. 10. Okay.
Oh. Sub 10 rolls. Sub 5 rolls all game.
Oh, I feel for you. She kind of slims her eyes for a moment and says, I'm afraid these are some grave tall tales you're telling me. I know these are true.
That's why we came to you. Well, actually, no, we came because it is true, and we wish to present it so we can actually, again, warn your king about the necromantic issues with the awakened and other cultish things. So, again, can you consecrate this?
Alright, her demeanor kind of grows dark a bit. I'm afraid I cannot, but you know of someone who can. But she has been missing for quite some months.
Ah, yes, we heard that your apprentice has disappeared.
Aye. We went on an expedition down into the Crystal Fen mines. Not heard from Tora Jornmeyer since.
What have you heard back from the expedition?
Oh, last we heard of her, Tora, was leading an expedition down into the Crystal Fen mines in order to investigate the recent attacks of deep dwarves. We pray for her swift return, but that is the most we can do.
Well, not to be somewhat callous, but we are on a relative time schedule, being that on the 28th we will be within the arena, and we were hoping to give this both the skull and the information to the king before then.
I can take in the skull.
Well, even if you can't consecrate it or do whatever, I know that it is very much within the power of those of religious clerical means have a method of discerning truth from lies.
That we can, and if we could take in the skull, and possibly divine its nature.
Well, simply producing this zone of truth, I think it's called, and then asking us and discerning our intent, and where we got it, I think should be viable enough to give to the king. Afterward, we can, if he does seek to consecrate it, and make sure that Nogdur sleeps forevermore, then we can gladly go find your apprentice Tora, and if she lives, bring her back. But for now, just checking the veracity of our statement and this skull, in my eyes, would be enough.
kind of thinks for a moment and says, "Very well. You would stand back for a moment."
I do so.
Begins to
Will step back.
begins to curl her hand in a few divine motions of what you presume to be some sort of a spell. Begins to chant under her breath. Watch a faint circular shimmer form around all three of you, because Brunker's here being very quiet, and there is it's like this faint golden shimmer of a barrier almost kind of surrounds you, and it's this sort of 15-foot radius. Oh. If you would recount the events that led to the acquisition of this skull once again.
I've talked a lot. Would you like to? Do you want a word in Granka?
I'm not too good with this kind of stuff.
That's fine. Well, first of all, out of character. If she did cast Zone of Truth, we'd get a save, right?
Yes.
Zone of Truth? Yes.
Zone of Truth for a charisma saving throw for all three of you, or you can choose to fail it.
Yes, I will choose to fail.
Yep.
And upon that, and realizing the magic has flown over me, flowed over me.
It's faint, warm shimmer.
I will look her in the face and say, "This is the skull of Nogda Ashbite."
Right, there's a moment of pause, and her eyes kind of widen for a moment. Certainly speak the truth, then. This is certainly grave news.
No pun intended, I'm sure.
Kind of catches herself for a moment, with a faint smirk, but she recomposes herself and kind of leans forward. I can certainly take the skull, work with the clergy to purify it however we can. Divine if it has any remnants of undead magic to it.
Of course.
That is done.
Let's go.
Oh. What's that?
Once that is done, I will see about delivering it to the king.
If possible, I would appreciate it if once you have consecrated, done whatever you can to purify it, if perhaps you allow us to bring it to the king?
Or escort your clergy.
Of course.
We have risked much, and we are coming in ambassadorial service as official members of Morkney's law enforcement. This is an event that took place in our region, our
jurisdiction.
Jurisdiction, there you go.
Siren, make a persuasion check with advantage with Balthazar's help.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Double 20s, come on. I'll take one.
Well,
It's a single 20.
the proper burial rites and rituals that are necessary to consecrate this without use of magic will take some time. But we can
allow you to... Well, we can escort you to any such meeting with the king, eh?
Of course. Headmistress, that is something we very much appreciate. And of course, if possible, while we allow the skull to remain in your care for now, if you would just write a note or notice something to show that we did verify with you whose skull this is.
Of course, it will be done.
Thank you. It's very much appreciated. Siren's being very careful with what she's saying in the zone of truth. Because she's still technically in the zone of truth.
Yes. Same thing for Balthazar's sudden shift in speech.
It's not concentration, it's it's 10 minutes, so it's just still there.
Yeah, as long as we are within the zone.
Yeah.
Like, she'll know, because we purposely failed our saves, whether or not we're lying.
Yep.
Okay.
It's not even that would know, it's that we can't even speak it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So if we were to start to speak a lie or something that's not quite right,
You wouldn't be able
Tanner
to.
can just correct us. Yeah.
Yeah.
We can't even mess up.
The stuff I can do with this spell. Anyway, is your business here concluded? You wish to say anything else?
No, I guess we're just going to, once we get her agreement to write like an official writ of seal, or like, then Siren will like step out of the zone so that she may accompany the headmistress to, write whatever it is.
Okay.
Go through the motions and then all that fun stuff.
Hmm.
So we can return to Mountain Guard real quick and be like, hey, we were telling the truth. Oh my god, we have the skull of Nogdur Ashbite. Stuff like that.
Yep. Okay, so eventually the thing is the note from the Cathedral of the Mountain King is delivered. The guards kind of take it and nod amongst each other. So, and they do inform you that so long as the skull is present, you will be escorted to the seat of the Mountain King. However long the non-magical consecration of the skull is to take, effectively, how long you have until a meeting is set.
Alright.
Also gives me time to prepare as well. Anyway, so is there anything else you would all like to do? Because I believe we did say we could spend this session throughout a number of days, unless you wish to take it day by day.
Hello, I am here.
Hello here. I'm dead.
We're kind of at time, is the thing.
Yeah.
Yep, 10 minutes till.
Okay.
Yeah, they kind of zip by.
Yeah.
I don't think we could really do anything meaningful in that time without going over.
Let's see here. Okay, so as you all kind of return to your various business throughout the day, she'll end the session there. What I will say is that throughout the next couple of weeks while I am on holiday, I would like you all to think about what you would like to do in preparation for the coming trial of steel and the meeting with the king. And this will also give me time to prepare when I come back. I can't imagine there will be a session immediately upon my return. Because, I would have just returned from holiday and I would get jet lag. So, we'll say taking a 3-week break, and upon returning, the next session will be a series of kind of jump cuts between each of the days. And if that's good with all of you.
Yeah. That's fine with me.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Here.
Also, Jainer.
Yes.
You realize that now have to draw whatever you make Gronka, right?
Oh no.
Lol.
Speaking of which, I would like you to DM me the exact descriptions of your new suit.
Ah, shit.
Yes, you have to do that. You did say Grunker would effectively guide the shop owner in his in your commission.
Yeah, I did say that. I'll have to think of something.
Right, so take down notes, everyone. 3-week break. What you would like to do in preparation for the trial of steel and the king's meeting.
Yeah. Also, Janner. Someone mentioned it in another server I'm in, where because we talked about bolas, right?
Yeah.
So.
How do you spell that, by the way? I'll be trying to search it out, but I keep getting image of
Bolas.
Bolas. Okay.
Yeah.
What did you keep getting images of?
Bowling.
Bolas.
Okay, so we can see how to. If you want to craft that.
Yeah, or if you can buy it, I don't know. Because well, I was saying that I know that I don't think it's a thing in D&D, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chat.
Ah, there we go.
Aye.
5e tools, come save the day.
Oh, nice.
Don't know if it's
Mine linked funny, so it took me
might
to
be a homebrew
Abacus.
thing, but there's a good source of it.
Yeah, it came up with
mine
abacus, not
Yeah, mine just comes to the dice.
Yeah, never mind then. It might be. Yeah, never mind. I thought it was PHP, but it's not. Not PHP, fucking core book, but it's not.
So, okay.
Yeah, because
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, because someone said that normally people just have bolas basically be nets, but with more range and damage.
could use that.
Yeah, but then why would you get a net?
Yeah, exactly.
If it's just a thing with more damage and more range.
Yeah, so.
And why is it damaging?
I mean,
Yeah,
I guess it is big balls that you throw at someone.
D&D wiki.
Yeah, well. So yeah, so I don't know how you would balance them, but yeah, he also said that he personally used the rules where if they hit, the target is forced prone while tied up, not restrained.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, the example I got here is it doesn't do damage, but if it hits them,
yeah, it still gets some movement as a result, but still fulfills the purpose of knocking things out of the air. So it could work.
Potentially.
It's basically a thing that knocks someone prone.
Yeah.
And that results in something plummeting to the ground.
Okay, I'll see what I can come up with.
Yeah, I mean it's not like super advanced, but yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting at least.
So, you guys have plenty of time to think about what you want to do. So make sure to DM me your.
I'm a craft.
You've got plenty of time to prepare.
Suck up a one.
Okay, so I'm going to end the stream here. End the stream and recording.
All right.